Okay, computer didn't crash. It's all right.
Oh, I was worried. Then I was like, oh no, what happened?
No, everything just froze up on my
Oh
end, and
God.
it's like, oh my god, not now. So
Wait, no.
it's all good. It's all good. But in the meantime, hello everyone. How do you do? We've got a returning guest, Assistant David. How do you do?
Hello, I'm doing good. Just chilling.
Oh,
Yay.
fantastic. We like what the kids call chill. And Amy, how are you?
I am doing okay. I am really excited to talk about this movie. Hee
Yeah. Right, so, in case anyone missed it on the title or thumbnail, we're talking about a little film called Hot Fuzz. But before that, as is tradition, what did you guys watch / play? Or just what did you guys watch this
What did
past
you
week?
consume?
Yeah. Okay, someone go.
I can go.
Yeah.
I started watching Superstore. It's pretty funny.
Oh, I
All
keep meaning
right.
to watch that. It does look good.
Cool.
It's funny, and I think that's all I watched this week because I didn't have time to watch anything else.
Fair enough.
Nice. And Amy?
I finished Castlevania.
Oh god, yeah, that's the
Yeah, I think
one day.
it's officially the last season now, so yeah, I've finished it. I've started reading Terry Pratchett, which I've been meaning to do for a while.
Oh god, yeah. Is it Rimworld or
Discworld.
No,
It's
Discworld?
it's
That's
Discworld.
it.
Yeah, it's
Where the
Discworld.
fuck did I get Rimworld from?
Which book are you reading?
The Color of Magic, and then I'm gonna read the Death Trilogy
Okay.
after that.
Yeah, that's I read quite a bit of them. They're really good books.
I'm enjoying them. I've read Good Omens before because I like
Oh
Neil
right.
Gaiman, so yeah. And I really really liked Good Omens, and it's very similar to that. So I'm enjoying it. But yeah, that's pretty much all I watched / consumed this week.
Great. The only thing I did was chip away more at Fallen Order, which is
Oh,
perfectly alright. Nearly done with it, so yeah.
ooh.
We'll
I
see
have
what
been very
happens.
sad. I have not been able to play video games this week because my sore arm.
Ah, fair. It's either watching something, reading something,
Yeah.
or playing something. Never all three at the same time. Just yeah. Yeah. So we're talking about a wee little film called Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
Before we start talking about it wholesale, what are your guys' thoughts on it? A brief blurb, as you'd say.
I'll let Amy start this time.
Okie dokie. I think it's a really good film. Like, I know it's a parody, but I just feel like it works on the same level as like any cop sort of action thriller works, because it's still got like suspense, and it's got a pretty interesting plot. It's like, and I don't know how to. I'm having trouble forming words. It's just really good. Okay, I really really like it.
Cool. And
I
David?
hope that was understandable.
It's my favorite film out of the trilogy. Definitely.
I think that's the general consensus.
Yeah.
It's most people's favorite.
It's the funny, like the jokes are the best. I think
Yeah.
I think it's the funniest Edgar Wright movie as well.
Definitely. Apparently, it's one of the longest ones he's made as well.
2 hours. Nearly on the dot.
Yeah. I can't remember if Baby Driver's is long. I think it's a bit shorter. I'm not sure.
I can't remember at all. There's not much of Baby Driver I even remember, to be
Since-
honest.
since Scott Pilgrim quite long though.
I think so. I'm not sure. I forget how long that one is as well. Because it doesn't feel like 2 hours to me. This film, it feels like it goes by really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I got up to get a refill on drinks and used the loo and all of that, and I paused it like, holy shit, an hour's passed? Whoa.
Yeah.
Very well done. Oh my
Mhm.
god. Like, the one time I forget to put my phone on silent, that's the time when people decide to message me. Well, if you can't message me beforehand, you don't deserve a reply. Anyway.
Always the way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's... Well, before we actually start going on, my brief blurb is... It is fantastic. One of the best written scripts I've seen, period. It's
Yep.
immaculate. Nothing but praise for it, and I'm looking forward to talking about it.
Woohoo.
So, I think we should start where all things start, and that is something called the beginning. So, opening
I thought you
credit.
were gonna say
Sorry?
London. I thought you were gonna say London.
Where all
Well,
things start, London.
You thought wrong, sir. I mean, location-wise, we do start in London, but more specifically, we start with Nicholas Angel walking up to us and giving us a brief history about himself and what he has achieved. And I thought it was fantastic in terms of time utilized to information given to us in a really humorous way, while also
Yeah.
setting up his character
Is
incredibly
Simon Pegg
well.
doing the voice?
I think so, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I assumed it
Oh.
was.
I thought it
Yeah.
was someone.
Oh,
I
I
thought
heard-
it was someone else.
Alright, you know what? I thought it was Simon Pegg.
I don't know. You should Google it now.
I'm
not
doing it. Just
sure.
give me a second, you heathen.
I've been reading a bunch of trivia about it, so I may just like chime in with that every now and then if I don't have much to say, because a lot of it's going to be, this film is good, I very much enjoy it.
Martin Freeman.
Ha!
Is he the
knew
one
it.
doing the
It was
voiceover?
Simon.
Apparently, yeah.
Oh yeah, that makes
It-
sense
it
because
makes
it's him
sense.
like talking to him, isn't it?
Not really.
Because like when he's done telling us about his like career and stuff, it cuts to Martin Freeman and Simon Pegg talking, and they're like having a discussion about him changing jobs. So it would make sense why like that he's doing the voiceover.
I mean, it would
'cause
make
he's
sense
going
for
off the
either one to
career.
do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Martin Freeman does the opening voiceover. For anyone who wish to know, David.
Yeah.
But yeah, after during the opening montage, that's exactly where we see Simon Pegg's character walk into the police station to see
Yeah.
Martin Freeman in the first place. And while we're getting all of that done, it's like we're going to see all his achievements, everything that he's done, and it's really well put together in terms of setting up character and
Yep.
very efficiently done. If this was Zack Snyder, it would take half an hour to get all this
Yeah.
done.
Definitely.
But,
There's some trivia. I don't know if you guys know, but Peter Jackson is actually
was
in
Santa.
the... Yeah, I didn't know that
Yeah, I
until a
knew
few
that
days
as
ago.
well.
Yeah,
And then
Oh.
just watching it back,
Kate
I'm just like,
Blanchett was
wow.
the girlfriend in the
I
CSI
knew Kate-
scene.
Yeah, I knew Kate Blanchett was in it. I didn't notice that was Peter Jackson. I was like, what, really? Mental.
You can tell by the eyes.
They're crazed.
Yeah, you know, the disheveled look. Or maybe
Yep.
that's just him in general.
Maybe.
But yeah, it's really cool because the conversation that they're having, it's almost like they're setting up, oh yeah, he's gonna get a promotion, and
Yeah.
even when he's getting it, it's like, oh yes, it's like it's expected. That's
Yeah,
what he
he's like,
expected
I know.
because of it, because of all the achievements we saw. And then when he's like, you're gonna be a sergeant, yes, in the country, it's like,
Salford.
wait, what?
Yeah.
And I love how every time he's having a conversation with a superior, it just gets progressively shorter and shorter and more
Yeah.
efficient to the point where
Yeah.
Bill Nye comes in and says, "Look, Sean, not Sean, fuck, Nicholas, you're making us look bad, so we're shipping you off."
Yeah. I do love how he's like, you can't just ship me off. Like, you can't just make people disappear. And he's like, yes, I can. And
I'm the head of police. Like,
yeah, and
oh
I'm
my
like,
god.
oh,
Yeah.
and I'm like, there's the first juicy part of foreshadowing because later on it is the police constable getting rid of everybody.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's actually, I never like looked at it that way.
I
I
never
thought
noticed it till I rewatched it today, and then I saw all the foreshadowings, and I've just been reading about them as well. And I'm just like, oh my god, it's just so good.
So that's the first instance of
Yep.
fantastic plant and payoff, which
There'll be more.
this film is stock full of them. It's fantastic. It's so well written.
Yep.
But I just love how we've got Bill Nye here, and like in terms of the trilogy in itself, I love how Bill Nye goes from like a secondary character in Shaun to like a tertiary character in this, and then he just ends up being like a voiceover cameo in World's End, and then Martin Freeman progressively gets more screen time.
More, yeah.
Yeah.
To those, I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it's just a really quirky thing in the films that I just really like.
Yeah.
Another thing I like about the scene is, we'll see what the team has to say about it, and everyone's like,
And
"Good luck, Nicholas."
Bye. See ya.
The crime scene investigation scene is
that's
fantastic.
one of my favorite scenes because it's like it works on like a funny level, but it's also like it's taking the mick out of how like most crime shows people go around like crime scenes not fully covered in like these kind of hazmat suits.
Yeah, like it's really cool because this film pays a lot of attention to procedure in a very accurate manner.
Yeah.
So that's really refreshing to see because like in something like Bad Boys or Point Break, which is referenced heavily in this film, like we don't get to see paperwork being done, whereas in this it's very prominent.
You know, maybe there's different rules in America for the police.
Oh no, they still have to do paperwork. Like that is universal. If not, court cases will be very short.
Yeah, but maybe
forensic wise, as far as I know, I don't think it is, but I'm not
hazmat suits.
It could be.
They have to be. No, they do. They do have to wear very protective suits so that they don't contaminate the crime scene. So yeah, that's kind of universal as well. Paperwork and crime hazmat suits are universal in police work.
Yeah. Apparently, like when they all interviewed, like because they went and interviewed police officers to research for the script. Apparently, a lot of them were like talking about how paperwork is a very like integral part. So that's why they had the paper scene, the paperwork scenes.
Multiple of them.
Mm-hmm.
Also very important and like really cool how they put an emphasis on the notebook that he carries around with him, and it's like this is one of the few films that actually pays a lot of respect to police officers instead of just saying they're all shit. It's like, it's actually kind of refreshing. That beyond that is like Janine, we need to talk. It's like, I'm not Janine. It's like, Janine, we need to talk, and just says it verbatim. Like, like just the delivery of, like that's another thing that's fantastic about this. Just the delivery of all the lines are fantastic.
Yeah, they're just so deadpan. It's just great.
And I also love how it's like, are you sleeping with? Go on.
A lot of really good actors there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's like a lot of really good actors. You've got this one, it's the number 2 film. Well, it was the first film that had James Bond actor in it. Then the At World's End has Pierce Brosnan as well, so that's pretty cool as well.
Pierce Brosnan.
At the World's End has.
Okay.
Oh,
this
I was well confused. I was like, Pierce Brosnan wasn't in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, no, I was like, I'm pretty sure he's not in this one.
Like one of the Bonds is in this, but
And
that's what I meant. Like it's the movie that also has.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
It's the same as at the World's End.
Okay,
And
now
this
I
one's
get
got the
it.
best
Gotcha.
James Bond actor as well. So
Oh yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Mm.
Oh, do you know what? I'm gonna have to start pausing this film because of just how good it is. But it's like another thing that's cool about it is within that same scene is when it's like, oh, it's like who are you in a relationship with? Like, how'd you know? It's like, is it Pete? And it's like he turns around really hopeful. It's like, do you think I'll go out with him? No, it's the other guy. And he just went, hiya. And then just
He
goes
goes,
back to
"Hello
work.
there."
Oh,
Yeah, I do love how he's like, "What's the situation?" And then she's like, "You know the situation between us." And he's like, "No, the situation here." And then she's like, two people, no signs of a struggle, complete mess." And I was just like, I love that line.
and it's like, wait, are you sure you're talking about the crime scene? It's like, get in. Oh.
I love it.
And it's really cool how it already sets up that he's always switched on to the point that he's pushing people away, and that is the character arc that he has to go through. It's like not to take
Yeah.
life too seriously and always be switched on with work and push people away and all that. Almost to the point where the end of the conversation is not anything between the characters, but him going, "Window was broken from the inside," and everyone's just
Oh, I
like,
love
"What?"
that bit, yeah.
So,
So good.
very good characterization already.
Yeah.
And oh, go on, David.
well, I didn't want to say anything. I was
Oh,
waiting
okay.
to say something.
You flashed green, and I was like, "Oh my god, what?"
Sorry,
Yeah, it's
I was
fine.
I was scratching my head.
How dare you?
Sorry, I won't scratch my head.
And next comes the montage of him traveling, and it. You know what? I actually really love the way he did
it's a
it.
great montage.
Absolutely, like
It's amazing montage.
It's so good, and the sound design is just spot on.
on point. Like
It's just so
last
good.
week, me and Amy were talking about it, and it's like, Shaun of the Dead felt like the raw version, and this is just the extremely refined gem you get after all the experimentation from
Yeah.
the previous film, and you can see it.
tell. Yeah, you can tell how much work went into this script and the cinematography and just everything. Like, apparently it took them 18 months to write this script, and I'm like, yep,
Only
that's why it's
that's
so good.
shocking.
I know.
It's like, oh my god, like that's actually much
Makes
shorter than I
yeah,
expected.
that's a lot.
To be fair, that's Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg writing together.
Still,
And I think obviously because they'd worked together on Shaun of the Dead, they probably sort of knew each other's like
No, but even
ideas
then,
and how to like get them out properly. I don't know.
like
It's
even
pretty
then
impressive.
yeah, like they gotta be like crunching hardcore to do that, because like the sheer amount of plans, payoffs, character moments, the usage of the English language, it's immaculate. I can't believe it's only 18 months.
I know. I was quite shocked.
But to speak a little bit about the montage, it's really cool how we get it from Sean's perspective and how really mundane the journey really is, which, let's be honest, train journeys are pretty mundane.
It's
Yeah.
Nick, not Sean, in this film.
Yeah.
Sorry?
You said Sean's perspective. It's Nick's perspective.
Nick's. Fuck, yeah. I'm just so used to saying Sean. But yeah, like it's shown from Nick's perspective, and it's just really dull and mundane. And we get to see like the further he gets out, the less phone signal he has. Whereas
Yeah.
in most other films, we'd usually get like a wide shot, transition of time, and then
Yeah.
arrival at the destination. Whereas this is just really fast and still gets the same point across very efficiently, while
This
giving
is
character
how-
development. It's great.
Yeah. This is how you do show, don't tell.
This film should be studied in class. Just saying.
I think this film is probably one of the. I think this is probably one of the most watched films I've ever like. I've watched it like over at least 20 times and not got bored of it.
This was only the second time I've seen it, believe it or not, and I was shocked by how much I remember of it from like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like, this is such a memorable film. It's so good.
Yeah, I've
Quotable as
seen it a couple
well.
of times as well. I've seen it, I don't know, maybe like seven times.
Yeah.
Nice.
My brother, he was doing Foley. I think he was doing like a unit on Foley sound design because he did music and sound in Edge Hill, and he actually redubbed the scene. I think it was the sea mine scene. So he had to like do his own sound effects for that scene. It was pretty good.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Mhm.
So next, we have him coming to the hotel that he's going to be staying at provisionally. And I love the dialogue he has with the old woman.
Oh
He's like,
god, yeah.
it was, oh, no, even before that, it's like he walks up to her and it's like,
been here.
yeah, it's like, you've always been here. And we're like, what?
Like,
It's like, oh, I
what?
thought you were my husband. Hello, you must be the police. Like, oh, okay. And then she just goes up and it's like, oh, your room will be ready, fascist. And
Yeah.
to go on later, I think she's the one who's going down the road using like a World War II machine gun shooting on the streets.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. When he says fascism, it's like, well, they kind of are a bit like that, considering they'll kill anyone that isn't the same as them.
We'll get to
More
the reasons in a
foreshadowing.
bit. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh god. So much foreshadowing. But it's like, it's cool because the first half is all set up, and like for the most part, you're not quite sure. Like, if you're going in without seeing any of the trailers, you'd be like, what's going on so far? And then the second half is all payoff, and it's so satisfying.
Yeah. That's the thing, like,
That's
it's
how I saw the movie
parody.
first.
Yeah, I never
Parody
saw
is
trailers.
also interesting. Yeah, no, I didn't either. Like, my mum and dad were just like, oh, I'm gonna watch this film. Literally, it's my mum and dad's fault that I have such good taste in movies.
How dare they? Well, I've always remembered for the past 15 odd years since I've seen this film, I've always remembered him leaning over and saying hag, and then she just looks up going, I beg your pardon, in just the most stern way an old lady can, and he goes, oh, an old woman that is like a really demeaning thing or whatever, 3 down. It's like, oh, bless. And that's something I really love because like the writing is so quintessentially English.
Yes.
It is very English.
It is.
And I didn't know how English it was until I went to England.
Yeah.
And then you appreciate it more.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like when you're outside of England, you're like, what the fuck are all these people saying, doing? It's like country, what? But then it's like, you come here, you live here a bit, and it's like, oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I do love it because, like, most action films or, like, police dramas, they tend to lean towards being Americanized.
Or in the big city at the very least. They don't exactly take place somewhere in, like, Chester.
In London. Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's like, we're gonna have this action film in Staffordshire. It's like, what? Where?
It's Sanford. And apparently the reason the town's called that is because in most, like, scenarios where there's a situation in a small town, they call the town Sanford in the like practice, and that's apparently it's a common name for all police stations to use that. And I was like, that's really cool. So much attention to detail.
Yeah, if only more screenwriters today did so much work.
Right.
I love that the village had its own little model of the village.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's just really funny to me for some reason. I don't know if that's like a real British thing. I haven't been out of the city much in my time in the UK.
What was that?
But
I'm not sure if I don't know if that's like it's a regional thing because I've not seen it happen much in the northwest, but like maybe it happens in other parts of the UK.
I missed the first part. Could you what are we talking about?
The model village.
The
village
model
has
village. A model of it. It has a model of itself.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
It's a small village, and it just has a model of itself.
Yeah, I've never seen that either. Being to multiple countrysides, like that's new for me as well. Although, I think just outside of Runcorn, there's a small model village. So I guess it depends on where it is specifically. Like it's not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's common, but they're unrare, is what I will say.
Yeah, I haven't seen many.
I don't know.
So yeah, go on.
It's just really fun. There's just something really funny about it.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
That it's
Mini version.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I mean, if you're gonna be planning anything, you know exactly where to go.
yeah.
Right. Next, he goes to the pub, and he just walks past like Scallies on in the fountain. Just gives them the
Yeah.
shifty eyes, and then just walks past them. But it's like, it's cool because like he's so desperate to say something. Where it's like, no, it's my first day. Let's just chill out and then go
Yeah.
tomorrow. And it's cool how Nick Frost is kind of in the background having a drink, but we don't call
Yeah.
attention to it.
Yeah. He's just there, like, another pint, please.
Yeah, and he's just getting absolutely bladdered. Just, and it's cool how he starts off in such a, well, irresponsible, immature way in this film, and then we see the growth and
Yeah.
change that the two characters have on each other, like gradually helping each other grow. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah, definitely.
Basically, they are the cliche of the buddy cop movie where, like, there's two cops that don't really see eye to eye and they end up working really well together. But it's just, like, it's done so well.
I wouldn't even say, well, they don't see eye to eye, but unlike most buddy cop movies where they actively hate each other, there's like a
Yeah,
real
no.
sense of Nick just going, hey, look, he like there's a real teacher in him
Yeah.
that wants to
Yeah.
help him, because like what
Yeah,
really
like
matters to him is the
mentoring.
passion, which it's not Ed, because that's Shaun of the Dead.
Danny.
Danny. Fucking
yeah.
hell. Because Danny has the passion to be a police officer. He's just
Yeah.
very unmotivated, and he's like, look, this is how you do it, and he's teaching him, and it's really
Yeah.
cool.
That's what I mean. Like, I love how it's taken that cliche and changed it slightly. I feel like that's what he's done with a lot of the cliches in this movie. He's taken it and gone, how can I make this, like, how can I, like, comment on this in a way?
Yeah, or at least put a different spin on it that
Yeah.
we haven't quite seen before.
Apparently, Edgar Wright read a book about all the different cliches in, like, buddy cop movies, action movies to prepare, and then so he's gone through about 20 different cliches and then picked the ones he wanted to use in the film.
Cool.
It's really fascinating just reading his, like, process of why he's included certain things.
I can imagine. Yeah, it's really cool because like this film has such a reverence to police films and like action films in general, like Bad Boys and stuff like that, as referenced in the film itself. Like, it doesn't treat it cynically. It's very reverent of it. Like, it gives it proper
a
respect in the
homage.
film. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a homage to literally all the cliches. It's not like saying these cliches are stupid, it's saying these cliches are cliches for a reason. They work.
Yeah, and it's executed so well.
Yep.
Oh, I love the bar scene. He's like, oh, can I have a cranberry juice? Yeah, okay, here you go. And it's like, underage. And it's like, right, that's it. Everybody out.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool because,
I
like...
I like the conversation before the cranberry juice when he wants the wine, and the guy just says, "We have
red or white."
or white."
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Like, that's how good...
Literally, that's what pubs are like, though. Like, if you go into a pub and go, what wines have you got, white or red?
Yeah,
Usually what you'll
absolutely.
get.
But, like, that's how good this film is. Like, every minute there's something good in it. It's so... Like I said, no other word I can think of other than immaculate.
Yep.
But yeah, it's like, I'm not sure if this was intentional or not, or if it was something else, but after he kicks all the kids out, or just beforehand when he's talking to the pub owners. It's like, oh, come on. It's like, if they're in here, then they're not doing anything out there. And looking back at it, I can't help but think, oh, like, they know what's going to happen to these kids if they were out there. So are they maybe subconsciously protecting them, question mark, by letting them be in the pub instead of being out there or anything like that? Or maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it's like there's evidence in the film to support it because of the way they're behaving and the characterization of it. That I'm like, it's viable.
They don't particularly want to let them outside, but at the same time, it's like they've been brainwashed into like, we need this village to be perfect. So it's like, if they go outside, our village won't be perfect. So that might be why they're like acting shifty.
Yeah,
you could very well. Like,
whose kids are they? Like, that's what I also want. Like,
yeah, like
the villagers' kids.
Also, like how big is the village? Because it has a castle and a supermarket. And
I'm not too sure.
They never address how big it is, but
like, you don't know how big it actually is, and whose kids are those? Because like, there probably would be some parents like asking.
Oh yeah, the parents
like,
would probably
where are my
get.
kids?
The parents probably get like.
I mean, everyone was
as well.
I mean, to be fair, the film does say that this village has a shockingly high accident rate, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So maybe they could just wave it away by saying, "Oh yeah, there was an accident and they ended up dying" or something like that.
Yeah, there was an accident and also there's no body. Sorry.
Yeah, because even by the time Simon Pegg, Nick, ends up finding the big conspiracy, quote unquote. Like, even then it's been like 2 full weeks have passed, so
yeah,
like I'd imagine it sticks to their MO. Accidents left and right, some more extreme than the others, and the extreme ones were just what happened to catch his eye. Oh my god, something fell.
Yeah.
But that could be it, but yeah, I wouldn't have a definitive answer for you for that.
It's not. I don't need an answer. I was just like wondering something.
Yeah.
Like,
it's fun to theorize, and
Yeah.
also it's fun to be like, well, what happened to their parents?
But it's cool because there is a reason given in the film if you do need one.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah. God, I was gonna say something about 5 minutes ago, but it completely spaced my brain. It might come back, who knows? But right after they kick them out, is like, oh hey, would you like another cranberry juice? And they're just really terse, and
like,
it's just
you.
Nick and Danny in the pub now. It's like, oh. Oh, I also love the conversation with the ginger kid. Like, when's your birthday? The 8th of May. Which year? Every year.
Every year. Yeah.
I
think it's like, is it 22nd of February? What year? Every year.
And it's like,
I may know all the lines in this film.
Oh, and then the other one where it's like, when's your birthday? 1964, so you're 37. Out!
And then the one where he's just like, when's your birthday? And the kid's just like, get out!
And then like, the stream of kids walking out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's...
I just love how he's like rounds everybody up.
But it's like, it's really cool because like, even more characterization, like giving evidence to the point that he can't switch off, to the point where it's like, even in his off time, he is doing police work by the letter.
Yeah.
And this is what I was going to bring up. Like, in the big city where he's from, in London, like, you gotta be very, well, terse with a lot of the people that you interact with because everyone's from everywhere, whereas in a countryside town, you're a lot more close-knit. Like, the regional pub will have its regulars, and they'll probably treat the kids to a drink every now and then, but he's not used to that, so it's also showing the cultural differences, even though it's in the same country. And I thought that was really interesting too.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you could probably find the pubs in a big city that serves underage people as well.
yeah, well, the parents would buy it and then let the kids have a sip. That's the way it would work around. But yeah, because like even in Liverpool, it's like the local pub will have its regulars, and sometimes the kids will come with them, and they'll have a drink together. It's like, I don't know, I don't know many countries that do, like in the United States, for example, it's like, oh no alcohol till 21. It's like, oh my god. Whereas everywhere else, or most other places, like, okay, well, here you go. It's like easing them into it instead of just hardcore 21. You start drinking like an absolute fountain.
Yeah. It's just bound to happen though, like when you're a teenager, you have that one friend that's just always somehow able to get alcohol.
There's always one.
Yep.
Yeah, once everything is done, Nick comes outside, followed by Danny, and then it's like, he just goes, "You're not planning on driving that, are you?" He's like, "No."
You?
2 seconds later, crashes into the fountain.
You get your obligatory movie action hero, like dodge roll.
Yeah. But it's like, it's already, it's just so much of his physicality set up in the start, and now we're just seeing results of it, and it's like, oh, so good. And I love how he's just pulls him out of the car.
Angry. He's like, "How dare you!"
Yeah, it's like pulls him out of the car. It's like, "I'm taking you to the station." Where's the station? Oh, and then just every step.
I assume he managed to tell him where it was, but we never get to know. But then I love the idea of him being able to tell him where it is, and then obviously later on he's like, "Why are you in a police officer uniform?"
I mean, it's a very small town,
Yeah.
so everyone would know where it is. Like Liverpool's a fairly sized city, but even I know where like 4 police stations are. Not that I've spent time in them. I've just walked past them, by the way. Just I've not spent time in them. Just in case you're wondering. But yeah, I wouldn't think it's too far-fetched that, the locals would know where the police station is. But yeah.
I just find it funny because he's clearly very wasted as well.
Maybe he's just like pointing her straight,
Like
left,
that way.
straight. And it's like with every like cut, like grabbing more and more people till the same stream of kids just walk in through the police station as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and I love Bill Bailey here.
Bill Bailey is
is my favorite character.
Oh, it's like, because the first, I still remember, it's like the first time I'm watching it, it's like, is he like during the night he's one character and one person, and like I thought he was like schizophrenia or something like that, but no, he's just twins, but no one just realizes.
Yeah, it's just 2 characters.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, like we didn't need a pair for that, but we got one. It's so cool.
Just for the sake of it.
And Bill Bailey's so funny in this.
I know.
Nobody tells me nothing.
Yeah.
Oh. But it's like, I love how he's like, oh, that's a lot of paperwork, and then he takes out 2 pens. I know. Then just gets to it.
I love how he's like, "I saw how you arrested the whole village," and then I'm like, later on he literally does arrest the whole village.
Yeah.
See, I love with these films where it's literally like a joke can be foreshadowing.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
You were saying?
It has a lot of foreshadowing.
Yeah, I just love how some jokes can like they could work as just jokes on their own, but they also work as foreshadowing.
Yeah, like even though it's a joke, there's character work, foreshadowing, plot points, like multiple things are done with very little, and it's so efficient. It's great. And I love how it's like most films would go so far as to go like, oh shit, hang on. Yeah, I'm gonna have to edit that because I pressed the wrong button. But no, it's fine. So yeah, it's like most films will go, oh look, it's like writing. It's a very slow, calm process. But to Nick, it's a very necessary thing for his
Yeah.
job. So he is just that enthusiastic about paperwork. So
Yep.
I just really love how that's the case.
Yeah, me too. It's really good.
So after the extreme like montage, he's jogging in the morning and everyone's already known who he is.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Very
hello,
good.
sir. It's like, hello, hello. And he's just well confused about what's happening. And then Timothy Dalton comes in. It's like, I'm gonna make a killing. He's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna
What?
murder someone. It's like, what are you doing? And
Yeah.
I love just the
Doing,
way.
like, arrest me, I'm a killer.
Yeah.
High price.
It's like, oh, foreshadowing. I love how all of the like neighborhood watch people are in the same stands they're in later on when they have like the big fight scene. They're all in the
Yeah.
same places.
Absolutely.
I also love the way he's like, catch me later. And it's like, he will.
Yeah. And I love the way he's like, I am the manager of the local supermarché. It's like,
Yeah.
he's just
Like,
absolutely diabolical in his behavior in this film. He's hamming it up so much and it's so
Yeah.
good.
Apparently, they specifically wrote the role for him. So they were
I
like
do
made
remember that, yeah.
they were made up when he said, yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Timothy Dalton should just be in more things. He's so good.
He is a great actor.
He's very
Yeah. He goes back to the police station and then the other Bill Bailey is there and he's just well confused. But it's cool because like us as the audience we're probably thinking, oh, he's probably pissed off at him because he had to stay late and do paperwork all night because of him. We don't really assume it like, oh, it's actually twins. Oh,
Sorry, I've
Yeah,
got
when
the mute
it's the
there.
first time, it's
yeah. And it's like, oh, goes on to check where Danny is in the cell. And it's like, oh, hey, where is he? Like, oh, why are you in a police uniform?
he's-
Because I am one.
I was like, he's gone. Who's gone? And then it's just
Oh my
appears.
god, yeah.
It's very good. I love how he's introduced.
And then just seeing the family picture in like all wearing cowboy outfits, and it's like, what? Oh,
That's
Jim
actually
Broadbent
Nick
is so good in
Frost.
this.
That's actually Nick Frost as a kid.
Oh, nice. Good Photoshop
Yeah.
work.
Nice.
It's like, talking about framing, I love how when it's like Danny's offering the cake and it's just his hand and it's just doing shaking. It's like, do you want it or not? But his hand is all we see, and then Nick just goes no and he just pulls it away, and just that alone is funny because of the way it's framed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim Broadbent, the absolute Chad. Explaining how things are run in the police station, and again, very efficient in its delivery, and we get to see like how the police station is run. Like everything is covered in cobwebs that's, useful anywhere else, but here, because of the sheer accident rate, there's no evidence. Rad gears in
Yeah.
cobwebs, and the CID's
Yeah.
just mucking around having cake and smoking. Oh my god, the
Yeah.
two Andys.
The two Andys are great.
Oh, so good. And I love how after they introduce each other, it's like they throw a bin at Danny, and it's like, of all the things
Yeah.
you can throw at someone.
Bin.
Oh my god.
I know that feeling. I've thrown a pencil at someone because of the just sheer annoyance at them.
There's also like the introduction of each of the various police constables in the office.
Yeah.
And then I love how the slightly slow one, the middle-aged one with the glasses, he's got like the Venn diagram in
yeah.
the back, and it's like, oh,
Yeah, I love
inept,
that.
dumb. It's like all sorts going on. And then so watching this yesterday was really weird because last week I saw The Father, which had Olivia
Oh.
Colman deliver such a fantastic performance as a dramatic
Yeah.
actor, and seeing her here being this really over the top bubbly character is just like, holy
Yeah.
shit, Olivia Colman just should be in everything.
I do love the fact that this is her first movie. Like, this was her debut.
Is it?
Yeah, like this was the first thing she was in, and then I think she went on to do Broadchurch with David Tennant, where she plays like a police officer in that, and she's so good in that. So like, yeah, she should be in way more things. But yeah,
Yeah, this and like seeing this and the father and seeing the two Olivia Colmans, I'm like, holy shit, it's so good. It's like, oh, we get the neighborhood watch dude with the
yeah,
computers.
Wasn't she in a peep show before this though?
she might have
Like-
been in Peep Show. I'm not sure, but
I
this
think
is
she
like her
meant like first feature
film.
film. I think that's what
That's
she
fine.
meant.
Oh, for
Yeah.
feature film.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
first feature film she was in was this one.
Yeah, but it's just fuck, just everyone having cake, and it's like, oh, is this a punishment? It's like, oh no, he's gonna have to buy ice cream. It's like just the sheer bafflement on Nicholas Angel's face when he hears this. He's like, what is this? Just
Yeah.
incredible.
This will require something more serious. Do you like ice cream?
Yeah.
It's so good. And it's like, well, now that that's out of the way, I think it's time for lunch. Pub? And they all go to the pub. But it's cool here because, like, in the pub itself, middle-aged dude with the glasses, he's actually, even though he's acting in a very, over-the-top manner, he is actually asking Nicholas, like, really interesting questions, and he is learning, which is paid off at the end in the supermarket when, all this time Nick who's been coming up with the plans, and at the end he comes up with the plan and Nick's like, yeah, let's do that.
What he said.
Oh, it's so good.
What he said.
I literally can't help but think of this movie whenever I say what he said or what they said. It's just like, just immediately comes into my mind.
And then this part had me laughing. It's like when they're having the beer, and then Nicholas just goes, "You've got a mustache," and then Paddy Considine leans in and goes, "I know."
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Paddy Considine, like, no joke. This is the only film I like Rafe Spall in. I hate him in everything else, but Hot Fuzz, I really love him. Him as the two Andys.
Do you love how they're like, not everyone's a raven murdering lunatic, and it's like, are you sure about that?
But yeah, this is also the first time we get to see Danny get really interested in Nick as well, because he's like, "Have you done this? Have you done this? Have you done this?" And then then Danny's like, sorry, Nick is like, "Yes, yes, no, yes, no, no, you don't do that." Like going through all the classic tropes.
Yeah. A lot of the things he says no to, he later goes on to do, though, which I love.
Yeah, like it's this kind of reminds me of adaptation in a really weird way, because like the first half of the film is all set up and you don't quite know where it's going, and the second half fully embraces the police action film trope.
Yeah, it just goes off the wall. Just like, okay, we're just gonna go completely random now.
Yeah, and it's cool because like that's sort of how all three of these films are. Like Sean goes off the rails halfway through, this goes off the rails, and then World's End.
But it always still makes sense.
Absolutely.
I don't remember World's End very much. That one might be my least favourite of the trilogy, if I remember, because I only ever watched that one once. But I don't know. I haven't watched it in years, so we shall see.
Yeah, like I would say it is probably the weakest, but even then, it's still very good.
Oh yeah, I still remember laughing my ass off when I went to see it. So.
Oh my god,
Always
there's so many good things in World's End. Like it's probably got the best "fuck it" moment. It's like he's just trying to explain things and just "fuck it," boom, through the wall.
Yeah, I know one of the lines became a meme, and it was like it's like what people say to the sun in summer, and it's like, "Oh, fuck off, you big lamp."
Oh god, yeah. Oh, they're at the Neighborhood Watch Alliance. Interestingly enough, usually it's association, but it's Alliance, NWA, and I'm like, oh my god, fuck the police. Yeah, I get you, film. I get you.
Yeah, I was like, good job, film.
Yeah.
I see what you're trying to do.
But it's like, it is interesting because, like, in a weird way, that is what the town is doing. Because anytime an outsider comes in part of the police force, they do get rid of them if they don't, get with the program. So, in a way, it's a joke, but also very relevant to their actions, which is, layers in a joke. It's great.
Gotta love some layers. I think like they're kind of the best jokes where they have tons of layers to it.
Definitely. Especially when it's done by Edgar Wright. It's so good. It's like, I love how it's like, oh, now we're going to be talking about the serious matters. And it's like the golden still man, and Nicholas just goes, oh, for fuck's sake.
And he just like rolls his eyes, yeah. Not just the living statue, the extremely irritating living statue.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, I like how he shows the photos. He's in the same position. It's like
Yeah, he's
12 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m.
Yeah, and it's the exact same, but with different people surrounding him.
Yeah.
But it's like, during the montage, we get introduced to Tim, the reporter, and he's just so over the top and just so happy to be there. And it's like, oh, hello. It's like, do you mind if we take a picture with you handcuffing someone? It's like, no. But how about putting the hat on someone? No. Just as you are, then. Yes? Okay, then. And, I love it. It's like, oh, everyone's just taking the mick out of him to the point where, like, the next day or like a couple of days later, Nicholas is taking a phone call, and it's like, oh, Peter S. Taker is Staker on the phone, but because he's been made fun of for so much over the course of time, he just assumes that it's a prank call to the point where it's like, piss Taker, are you serious? And then smash cut to Stephen Merchant and just describing a swan to him. I thought it was amazing.
Could you describe her? Well, she's a swan.
2 feet tall, white, yellow beak, and it's like, anything else? It's a swan. Just fantastic. But even the swan, there's so many instances of Plant and Payoff with the swan where it just pops up all over the place, and then it becomes relevant in the finale as well. It's just so good. It's like, after the swan runs away from Nick and Danny, they go to the shops, and there's this really interesting moment where they're in the car having a cornetto, cornetto trilogy.
It's the blue one to signify the police.
Yeah, red for zombie, blue for policeman, green for alien, yeah.
Yep.
It was like, it's cool. It's really cool how in this moment, like, Nick is trying to teach Danny a lesson about being observant as a policeman and how to try suss out danger before it occurs so that you can protect the most amount of people. And he's trying to use people as an example. And then Danny just goes, because he's butt ugly. And it's like, no, it's like, why is he hiding his face? Because he's butt ugly. It's like, no, Danny, I'm trying to teach you something.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you got Lurch, played by the fucking Hound. And it's just incredible. Yeah. The entire film just going, yarp, narp. Just incredible.
Yarp.
I just love that because that's all he says later on when he's fighting Nick, and after he beats him, it's like Timothy Dalton's calling him and it's like, is he taken care of? Yarp. And he's like, oh, so he's not going to bother us. And there's just a pause. It's like, narp? And like, good, meet us at the church.
Do you know what I love? All the people's last names are all like almost all occupations.
Yeah.
Like Hatcher.
Yeah, team messenger.
Yeah, true. like very Saxon, because like in the
Yeah.
Middle Ages you're named after what you did, like Smith, blacksmith, and like all sorts of things. So yeah, very English, as we've already established.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Also,
oh, go on.
you go on.
Now, I was just gonna say that when he gets called into the manager's office and there's this security screens behind Timothy Dalton, he's like, "You better watch out for that." And the person he focuses on is the mogul who's got the garish house that he doesn't
Yeah.
like. I'm like, ah, yes, the blight upon us. And he's like, no, I was talking about
No, I was
the
talking about
thief.
the
He's like, ah,
robber.
yes, but it's a really cool plant that gets paid
Yeah.
off later, and I'm like, oh, so good.
Yeah.
What were
I
you
was
gonna
just
say?
gonna say the reason Summerfield's used is because apparently Edgar Wright used to work in one when he was a teenager, and
Oh.
Timothy Dalton's character is based on his boss from when he worked in Summerfield, and I just love that.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, imagine if we made a film where we based it on one of the people we've worked for, or something like that. Oh,
Oh, we just based it on Keith.
oh my god. Oh my god. Like, because we've been doing Attack on Titan, imagine if we cast Keith as Keith in a live action.
Yeah, that'd be really
Like,
funny.
it'd be a cool inside joke, but people will be wondering, what the
Marley.
hell? Yeah.
Yep,
He's got a house now.
I know.
God. Also, another cool little plant is when Nicholas is chasing the Scally through the alleyway. It's like the Neighborhood Watch Alliance are using walkie-talkies to communicate. So you're like, oh, so those are the people who are going to be like he's going to be fighting later on. So it's planted so early on, but executed so late on. It's so good.
Yeah. I also love how he jumps over all the fences without falling, but like in the other two movies, he somehow falls through the fence.
And then Dan is just crashing through them, not
Yep.
even trying. And then he sees he's got a few more. He's like, "Aww."
Yep.
And then just before that, he just goes, "Mothers," and he's like, "What is he
There's
gonna?"
a bunch
Oh,
of
it's
mothers.
literal mothers.
Yeah.
It was like, ugh.
One.
Like, it's a comedy, sure, but the chase was both the chases in this film are really good.
Yeah.
This and the one where he's chasing the hooded man.
Yeah. I also love how he literally throws the can of graffiti and it hits him on the head. And I love the little like dunk when it hits him as well.
Because that's like the cartoon trope,
Oh
innit?
wow. Yeah. He's really good at doing physical comedy as well, Edgar Wright.
Yeah, definitely. Like, this is why, like, I lament the Edgar Wright Ant-Man film, because I'm like, oh, how good would that have been? Like, Edgar Wright's
It would've been so
writing,
good.
filmmaking style, I'm like, oh.
And
That means-
you can see traces of it, but yeah.
It's heavily repurposed, but it's like, oh my
Yeah.
god. That would have been something else. Oh.
Oh my god, I really want him to make like a superhero film, but like in the same way of like he's, using the tropes and like parodying them. I really want him to do that. That'd be really cool.
Yeah. Oh my god, like, maybe he could do like a Captain Britain. Just
Oh my god.
like just a comedic take on Captain Britain, which would be really interesting. Bringing in Merlin and all those into the Marvel universe. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
really excited for his new film.
yeah. Last Night at Soho, I think it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting because it's a straight up like no jokes horror film. And I'm like, ooh, that'll be interesting. So.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Edgar Wright is one of the few directors left where I'm like, oh, Edgar Wright's doing it, I will watch it. No questions asked.
Yeah.
But yeah, after he gets caught, processed, Timothy Dalton doesn't press charges because, we find out later
And
that...
he brings biscuits.
Oh, biscuits.
Yep.
And that everyone's
Biscuits.
just having biscuits and having a good time. Whereas, like, it's cool because, like, he doesn't press charges because that would mean court case and that would mean extending things, which would mean he might go back on the streets. Instead, don't press charges, just kill him outright. And it's really cool. like in terms of like world consistency.
Yeah, it's like they really don't care about rules. They will just literally kill anyone who doesn't fit in.
Yeah. And then, oh, I love the police car scene later on as well, where he's explaining the importance of the notebook, and it's like,
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's so good.
yeah, I'm on that bit as well.
Then I love how he shows Danny how to use the notebook with the quote unquote actor slash lawyer in the speeding car.
Yeah, I do love how he's like, "Did you see what I did there? You hypnotized him."
um. So yeah, it's very very neat because like now we've got the importance of taking all the notes, being attentive, and Danny potentially learning something and being excited by the process of doing, what Nick does. And Nick is slowly starting to mellow out as well because Danny's drawing cartoons in his notebook, and it's like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
I just love how he's just like, "Stop writing."
Stop writing. Oh my god, yeah. No joke. As you said that, the guy on screen said that as well.
Stop writing. Yeah.
It's a perfect timing. So yeah, afterwards, no, not even afterwards. It's cool because like we get to see the just how blasé the actor is when it comes to like, oh, it's like, hey, yeah, don't worry about it. It's cool. And then by the end of it, he's so flustered. But
Yeah, he's like, what do I do?
But at the end of the play, he's almost reverent towards Nicholas in a way because, like, hey, yeah, I know I did something wrong, and I'm glad, like, you did what you did, kind of thing. Like, it's almost like, he's turned over a new leaf, kind of thing going on before he gets chopped in half.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the Romeo and Juliet play, so
Oh.
good.
Oh,
It's like, oh hey, one of the Bill Baileys goes, hey, you've got tickets. No, we can't accept them. And then the commissioner comes and like, hello, we've got
Here we go.
tickets. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And then
You've
Dan
got
is
to
just
go.
excited.
Yeah. He's like, yeah.
I just love Nick's like facial expression as more and more of the play progresses. It gets progressively more like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. Like, oh, you ripped off the movie Romeo and Juliet badly.
I mean, yeah. It is a play on Romeo and Juliet, so
Oh, but they had the costumes and everything from the movie as well, and the song.
wait, okay, so the DiCaprio film.
Yeah, so it's literally like supposed to be like a rip on that, I think.
Was it?
I
'Cause-
don't think he's no, I don't mean like the film, I mean like the play. I think they were deliberately copying it.
oh, okay. Because I was thinking, yeah, wasn't the DiCaprio one set in modern day times without
It
armor
was,
and
yes.
shit?
But that's kind of partially probably why they were like, yeah, this is a terrible version of it, like in play form.
Oh, okay. uh, it's like after the play, I love how Timothy Dalton's like talking to the Juliet of the play, and it's like,
Yeah.
I wonder if I crack your head open, what secrets will spill out, and just
It just
Nick-
giggles at it.
And then everyone else is giggling, but Nick, like us, is just like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
Hey, what? Who says that? I do love how they deliberately try to point you towards him as the killer on his own.
Yeah. And it
There's
does a good
also,
job
like-
of setting everything up as
Yeah.
him, so mad props for that. But like
Yeah.
everything he says is just outlandishly evil, and I love it.
Yeah. Like, there's always like him driving past the accident, and there's always like a song on the radio playing something to do with what happened, or
Yeah.
he'll say something that will be like foreshadowing their death. So you're immediately drawn to, yeah, he's killing everybody. But at the same time, it's like he's not just killing everybody; it's the whole village.
Yeah, definitely. Or at
Like
least,
there's plans for
the
both.
elders of the village, quote unquote. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, true.
Yeah.
He's always the one driving by and almost like reporting on everything to the rest of the group.
Yeah. Also, the fact that it's staged as a car accident could be a little bit of a hint towards it being the constable, because obviously they say that his wife died in a car accident. And it might be reaching there though. I just thought that was interesting. So it's like, oh, staged car accident. Wife died in a car accident.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but
But it's like
we learned that like quite late in the film, no? That she
Yeah.
died in a car accident.
No.
That's true. What I connected it to is like he's known for driving really fast, so of course,
Yeah.
like no one's gonna blink twice if they got into a car accident because he's known for driving fast, kind of thing. That's what I was thinking of, but
Yeah.
it's like I also like knowing the type of character Jim Broadbent is. I wouldn't think that he would replicate his wife's car accident with his victims, if that
I
makes
don't
sense.
know. Yeah. It was just a theory. Not confirmed or anything.
Okay. Cool. But I just love how he wakes up and like, oh, there's been an accident, and the first thing we see are the two severed heads. Like, oh my god.
Like the accidents are genuinely gory in this movie.
Yeah. Like, I think my favorite one, I've always remembered this, even from way, way back, like much of the film. And it's like Tim Messenger's death.
Yeah, that's the
Holy shit. Like when that happened, even my young
Yeah.
brain was like, holy shit.
yeah. I was like, whoa! I was not expecting that to happen.
I also love the fact that the body took a couple of steps forward before falling
was like-
over. It's like, oh, like,
It went full on horror movie. Just for a
yeah.
second.
Like, it was very Shaun of the Dead with the
Yeah.
way the deaths were executed.
Yeah,
What?
I think literally all of them are pretty gory. Except maybe the guy who gets blown up. But even still, we see his charred body, and that's kind of gross.
Yeah. I'd say that was probably the least visceral one, but
The rest of them
they're
are
all pretty
like,
good.
whoa.
Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. Like, so this is the first time we see like a full-on quote unquote accident happen on screen, and Jesus,
Yeah.
we're 40 minutes in. That's insane. But yeah, it's
Okay. It's
Yeah.
like when you're watching it, it doesn't feel like 40 minutes. It feels like, oh, we're
No.
only 20 minutes, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's
yeah,
so
it-
well put
it feels
together.
like it feels like just beginning.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the pacing is incredible in this film. And also a setup of Nicholas Angel saying, "Oh, hey, it's a, it's not an accident. It's a, what's it? Incident? Traffic
Collision. It says
collision.
traffic collision,
That's
and they're
it.
like, why can't we call it an accident? He's like, because it implies.
There's no culprit to it.
billion.
Yeah."
Yeah. It's like, ooh.
And then I love the conversation between them and the two Andys immediately after, where they're like, "It's a murder, ooh, murder, murder, murder," just like all making fun of Nicholas Angel. It's just
Yeah.
being
Murder. Change the record. Have we
Yeah.
completely skipped the scene with the sea mine then?
No, it's about to come
Oh, cool.
because I'm playing the film as
Yeah,
we're
I'm
talking
playing
about
it
it.
as well, but mine keeps going a bit too far ahead while we're
Oh.
talking.
Yeah, I've had to pause a couple of times because of the sheer amount of things that are amazing in this film. But literally, the sea
taking it
mine
back.
is next.
Yeah.
And I love how he's like, "Oh, why are we bring the dog? No, it's not the dog we need, it's him." Why?
Yeah.
And then Seamus Finch is just going,
Yeah.
just that interaction just killed me.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is the scene my brother had to do Foley for, and he had to do the voice lines for Danny, I think.
Oh. Oh, I just love the actor who plays Finch. Anytime he pops up, I'm like, I'm gonna have a good time.
Yeah, he's in Broadchurch as well.
He's in a
Did-
few things. He's in
Is
Game
in
of
it?
Thrones, this,
Yeah.
Harry Potter, Broadchurch. There's a there's a Black Plague one he was in, and I love him in that because he plays like a doctor. And then there's this
Oh.
one scene where he's like shaking like he's got Tourette's, and then he's
Yeah.
about to amputate an arm, and he's just
Oh.
eyes closed and like, may God guide my hand. And the person on the table's like, oh my God, what's happening? It was incredible.
Also, I love the plant of the sea man. Like, it actually
Oh
has
yeah.
purpose. It's not just a random thing they found. It's like,
But like, of all the things they do find, like
I
in his
know, it's so random.
arsenal of weapons, like what a random thing.
I know. They obviously had the amount of weapons in there so they can have the obligatory like, oh, look at all the weapons this guy's got scene, and like the gun porn scenes you have in most action movies.
Mm. But it also sets
also-
up the action scene for later on as well, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, I just love how they ended up finding out about it. It's like, oh, does he have a license for that? I do for this one. It's like, wait, for this one?
What?
And
Yeah.
it's like...
It just has an entire shed full of just weapons.
And it's really cool because I think the two Andys were talking about in the previous scene where it's like, oh, everybody and their mother's got a gun.
Yeah.
It's like, who? I don't know, Anthony and his mother.
Farmers mothers.
Yeah.
And then I love like later on in the film, like he literally gets shot at by a farmer, and then the farmer
Mom!
goes, "Mom!"
And then gets shot by the mom as well. Just... have we mentioned that the film is immaculately
Yeah.
written? Oh,
It is. It is.
it's shockingly good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Oh,
sorry,
go on.
just gonna say, apparently Nick Frost had to watch a bunch of action movies, and I'm just like, oh, how terrible for him.
I know, right? It's like, what a tragedy.
Hard job. Oh, it's the red or white scene coming up.
Oh yeah, it's in this one, not the previous one.
Yeah.
Well, it's really cool because by this point, the two characters have spent enough time with each other that I think the previous time he invited Nick out, he said no, but this time he's like, all right, maybe for one drink or something like that.
Yeah.
And we see like the relationship really start to develop, and that's really cool.
Yeah. Also, another interesting thing that I read, apparently he was supposed to have a love interest. Nick was supposed to have a love interest, and basically they ended up not having her, but most of her lines ended up going to Danny, and they're not very changed. They're mostly unchanged.
Oh,
Which I think is pretty cool.
I think I prefer it this
Okay.
way, personally.
Yeah, no, I think they were like, yeah, I think a love interest is a bit.
It
It
would be
would
a bit
make it
too
a bit
much.
more. Yeah, it'd lean it more towards like
Yeah.
romantic comedy again, and it's like supposed to be like a buddy movie, and I think it
Yeah,
works
and
better
I
as a
mean,
buddy cop movie.
like having a romantic interest is another staple of like a cop films like Bad
Well,
Boys
yeah.
and all sorts of them. But like for this particular film, I think it's really cool to have like, well, for lack of a better way of saying it, a bromance be the thing that really gets him
Yeah.
out of his groove as opposed to like an actual romance.
Yeah.
So
I liked it this way better too. I just thought it was cool that literally most of the lines are completely unchanged and they still work as Danny uses with Danny using them. And I think it works better as like a mentor.
yeah,
kind of
absolutely. Like when characters were written as characters first, you know, back in the day.
I think Danny was always going to be in it, but I just think having another character as a love interest would have just been a bit much.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I love this as well because they're talking about each other's pasts, and it's like, I've always wanted to be a policeman, except for in that one time in 1979 when I wanted to be a frog. And it's like, it's a shame. Why? I think you'd have been a great Muppet. Like, I really like these. Oh, that had me laughing a lot as well. Just the
Yeah.
timing and execution of the joke was just so good.
Yeah. I remember when I first watched it and I just didn't get it at all. Same with the fascist thing. I was just like, okay, my mum and dad are laughing, so I guess it's funny.
Yeah, and
Because
then
I was like I was like very early teenager when this came out, so I was just like, I don't get it.
I was like 13 or something when this came out,
Yeah.
so yeah.
And then as an adult, I'm just like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah. And it's also cool how they planted the fork in the eye and the ketchup coming out, and then
Yeah.
they're going, "Oh my god, what just happened?" Oh. And we got Timothy Dalton back, and he just, the most
He'll be in
devious
bits
way, just
tomorrow.
goes, "Let us drink to his demise." And it's like, don't you mean his memory? Yes, that too. It's just like,
Sure, whatever.
sure, why not?
And then he's like, oh, he'll be in bits tomorrow. I'm just like,
Oh my god. And then the commissioner comes along after he's done. Is like, "I think you should go home. I think that's enough drinks," or something like that. And it's like, he points to the guy having a piss at the fucking pachinko machine. Just like,
yeah. Oopsie.
oh, he's like, after they take him home, I love the scene that they have at Danny's place, where he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh hey," because that is definitely a scene that was meant to be with the girl that
Yeah,
they
yeah.
retrofitted. Like, "Do you want to have a coffee?" But it's like,
Yeah, and it
yeah,
still works.
it still works because of the characters. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And also I don't know how to switch my brain off, and he's like, let me show you. I'm like, that would be like the scene where it's like, oh, they go smoosh, and then it's like, actually, I'm just gonna show you all of my DVD collections,
And
which
it's
are
really
actually
cool.
a collection of Edgar Wright's films, his brother's films, and his best friend's films.
But it's really cool because, like, his place is a
Okay.
mess, for lack of a better way of saying it. Like, boxes
Yeah.
everywhere, even though he moved like 5 years ago. But his DVD collection is alphabetized and just very organized, lights at it, so it shows what he prioritizes above everything else.
Yeah. Movies, which,
Yeah.
you know, kind of relate. Except I'm more like that with books. My books are all alphabetized. My films are all like strewn across the place because I watch them so often.
What were you gonna say, David?
I was just agreeing with you. I don't know really. I don't really have much to say because he's pretty much saying my thoughts for right now.
Oh my god. Well, saying you agree is enough sometimes, you know. No, but it's cool because, like, it's one of these hard things where we love the film and we're like, "Oh, this is cool," and we're like, "Yep, this is cool.
Yeah.
Yep, we agree."
Yeah.
It's just like, it's
It's
not
like
like
with Lord of the when we were talking about Lord of the Rings, we were pretty much the same. Like, yep, it's all
yep,
good.
it's
Everything
good.
is good.
It's not like something broken like the DC universe where it's like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
we gotta stop the film for a second." 20 minutes later,
Honestly,
right.
I I don't think there's that many films that are as broken as that.
Well, they're growing in
Then
numbers, so let's just wait a couple of
then
years.
again, yeah, that's true.
But they were a special kind of bad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was an adventure, though.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I think you
uh,
appreciate good films a lot more when you have to sit through bad ones.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're all in agreement. Like, a lot of the stuff that we love, like, unrequitedly, like the Cornetto trilogy, Lord of the Rings, like, they are peak storytelling, and we all
Yeah.
love them. So yeah, it's just, when you got good taste, man, and when you got good films, you just appreciate them, you know.
I love the transitions in this bit. Like, just I think this film just literally made me go, I love transitions. They're
Oh
so
god,
cool.
like Edgar
When they're
Wright in
done well.
transitions is just so good.
Yeah.
Like, the
Like when he
only
gets
other,
knocked on the head and the same time Nick sits down, I'm just like, oh, it's just so good.
I think the only other thing that has transitions this good is probably the Haunting series,
Yes.
and they were
Agreed.
fantastic.
I have not seen that.
You should watch it. I think you might like it. Then again, I don't know.
Is it just called just The Haunting?
No, the Haunting of Hill House and Blind Manor, the Netflix series.
Okay. I
Yeah,
will add it to my endless list of stuff.
yeah, that's the thing. It's like there's so many things to
It's very
watch.
good. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's 10 episodes, I think. The
the
Haunting
first
of Hill House.
season, Hill House is 10 episodes. Bly
And
Manor
then
is 9.
Lyman is 9, yeah. And they're
Okay.
all about an hour long, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and episode 6 of Hill House is just
Yeah.
filmmaking genius. It's so good.
Episode 5 of Bly Manor is my favourite, I think.
Oh, that's the
I don't
yeah.
remember.
I know which one you mean.
Mhm.
But just to go to the scene where that Danny's house is like, oh, we've got Point Break and Bad Boys 2. Bad Boys 2 of all films as well, which
And they're
is
just randomly thrown in there.
it's not even Bad Boys 1, you know, the good one. It's Bad Boys 2, which is
Yeah.
the lesser. They're both
Yeah.
fun, like, but you know.
Yeah, 1 is definitely better.
But it's like, it's so cool because you got Point Break, which is quintessential cop action film, you know, fantastic film.
I've not actually seen Point Blank. Point Blank. I'll have to watch it.
Point Break is so good. It's so good. Don't watch
Point
the
Break.
remake. But it's like, that's really cool because like, there are certain multiple times in this film where there are Michael Bay homages, and I'm like, yeah, Michael Bay is really good when he's on point. He just hasn't been for like 20 years, which kind of
Yeah.
sucks.
I don't think I've ever really enjoyed a Michael Bay movie. I'm not gonna lie.
My argument stands that his best film was his first film, The Rock, which was I still really love.
The Rock.
The Rock, yeah, with Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it.
Oh, I don't know.
I find it hard to like the man since of like his treatment of
Like the man himself
Rock,
is
he's
an
a
asshole.
bit of-
Like
yeah, he's
let's
a
not
bit
mince
of
any
a
words. But yeah, he is a bit of a dick in real life. But yeah, did solidify a genre in the 90s. So yeah.
Okay.
good for him.
He did Pearl
Still
Harbor.
don't
I
like
didn't
him.
know it was him.
Oh, sorry. Say that again.
Oh, he did Mystery Man. That was him as well.
Oh,
like
I
Mystery
didn't know
Man.
that.
Michael Bay did Mystery Man.
Let me see. No. Why does Google say? Google said he did Mystery Man. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna
Lies.
say because
How dare you?
I'm very familiar with his filmography, so I was like, Mystery Man, whoa. But no, he did The
So,
Rock, Armageddon, the Transformer
I-
films,
I remember Armageddon being alright.
The Island.
I feel like Transformers is where he started going downhill.
I'd say he started going downhill at The Island with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, The Rock, Armageddon are probably his best films, and they were both in the 90s. So 90s Michael Bay is best Bay.
Yep.
Best babe.
Best Babe, yeah. Yeah, Bad Boys though, staple when it comes to cop films. Very good.
Lethal Weapon as well. I remember at one point when I kept talking about like action films with Ryan, he'd just start calling every film Lethal Weapon as a joke. I would be like I'd be watching, I don't know, Die Hard, and he'd walk in and go, "Oh, you're watching Lethal Weapon, are you?" And I'm like, "No."
I went through a phase of watching Lethal Weapon every week. I love those films.
Really enjoy Lethal Weapon. It's goofy.
I have not seen them.
Yeah.
It's where the line "I'm too old for this shit" came from.
Lethal
I
Weapon's
I
good.
I know about the films. I know they are referenced a lot in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia because I watched that. But I never seen them.
Fair enough. Like they're not like master classes in cinema or anything
No,
like
they
that,
are
but
just
they are really
goofy.
good cop films.
Yeah.
God, I haven't seen them in so
funny, yeah.
long.
Me neither.
So yeah, this film.
Back to this.
Yeah. So after the explosion, everyone gets worried. Like, oh my god, people well, person died. And I love how a Tim Messenger comes along and is like, oh, Police Constable Angel is like, may I have your may I have a statement? And it's like, we're not issuing any statements. And it's like, no, what's your favorite Sunday? It's like, what?
Yeah.
And then the middle-aged dude comes along and is like, my favorite Sunday is, and it just continues to explain it. And Tim Messenger's like, no, but I wanted his answer instead.
Yeah. My perfect Sunday is this.
And I love how the explosion got rid of the entire house, and just because that's exactly what they wanted from the start, just to get rid of the house.
They hated the house, yeah. Oh, also the song that's playing when he's driving away, the words "fire to destroy what you've done," please. Because I watched it with subtitles on, and I was like, "Oh my god, I never got onto that before."
Oh, cool. Neither have I, actually.
So it had the song lyrics up, and I was like, "Oh no, wait, that's so cool."
Well,
the attention to detail, I love it.
Yeah. Well, like, talking about framing though, is like when the two Andys were leaving the frame after they've talked with Nick and Danny, is like one of the Andys goes first, and then the second one leaves, but just before the scene cuts, the other one pops back into frame and then leaves again. And it's like, it's so cool. It's a visual joke, but it works so well.
Yeah.
And then it's like during the while they were back in the police station watching all the CCTV footage, like the Andys are like, oh well, you're gonna have to be patrolling the church fair. It's like, no, I'm not. And then the commissioner comes like, actually. It's kind of cool how you get to see how all of the members of the police force are like behaving outside of work, and seeing how they all have lives, while Nicholas is the only one that's just kind of by himself.
Still in his police uniform, it kind of is like a symbolism of like he's never out of his uniform, really.
Yeah, he's again going back to he's always switched on.
Yeah. Like, in a way, this is also a character study, and I just love that.
Oh, have we mentioned this film was good?
This film just works on so many levels.
Oh, I love the gun range scene. Like, just takes all of them, and then the one time Danny has a shot, he injures the man behind it, and it's really cool how he sets up as, oh, he's a doctor, he'll sort it out, and then at the end it's like, you're a doctor, sort it out, and then just walks away.
Yeah. Also, I love how there's a joke in Shaun of the Dead where Ed's not allowed to use a gun because he supposedly shot someone in the leg.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I love that. I don't even know if that's on purpose, but that's just funny.
Oh, it's got to be on purpose. Like, that's deliberate.
I imagine it is, but I was just like, if that's not on purpose, that's funny.
It's like, even beyond that, there are so many references to Shaun in Hot Fuzz as well.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and both of these are referenced in World's End. Like, it's so well put together. And then we got the good old trope of, oh, hey, Mr. Policeman, I have information, but I can't tell you this now. I have to tell you this later. And it's like,
specifically at 3 o'clock when I'm gonna die.
And then, oh, wouldn't you just know it? It's 3 o'clock. It's like, wait, just what?
Why not just tell him now, or like tell him in a minute? I was also kind of like, did he not hear the announcement that he's just been called up to the stage?
I know,
why
right?
Would you not go wait by the stage?
Considering he's right round the corner, and he's just looking intense at this watch, going, "Where is he?" And it's like, you know where he is, dude. Just, and I love how he's being called up the stage to announce the names. It's like the two Andys are like, "Cunt, twat, prick" in the background. Also really cool, Skinner, who is that is Timothy Dalton, right? Skinner. Oh my god, yeah, Simon Skinner, Timothy Dalton. It's really cool how it sets up during this lottery scene. It's like, oh, Simon Skinner, where is he? And then we see the hooded figure at the top of the church, and it's like, oh my god. So visually, we're getting setups to who the potential culprit could be.
Yeah. And I just did the foreshadowing there, like, Team Messenger, it's your time. Or is it your time has come?
Yeah, one of the variations of that, absolutely.
Yeah.
Then it's like 3 o'clock hits, and I love, in a weird way, how they knew exactly where, like, the piece of church was going to drop, and Tim happened to be right underneath. It's ludicrous, but because of just how ludicrous the entire film is, it works so well.
Yeah. It's true, like, it was super precise.
Yeah. It's like, oh,
shot.
like, what if he was in the other corner? Well, I mean, it's kind of cool because they do.
He could have just been like 2 steps to the right, and it would just.
I know, right? It would have missed. He would have just been very injured at worst if he was 2 steps to the right. Yeah, but it's cool because, like,
they're all laughing as well, like they know what's gonna happen.
yeah, true.
Ah, splatter everywhere, even on the camera. Great.
Oh, it's such a good shot though. It's like get to see every, like, that's probably the most gruesome death in the trilogy, I would say, with the exception alongside fuck from Black Books, the
Oh, Dave.
Dave, like Tim Messenger and Dave's death are probably the most gruesome in the trilogy.
Yeah, because he just gets everything ripped off him. See his intestines and everything. Ugh.
Oh my god. I was reading something the other day, and it's like, you know, Dave's girlfriend from Sean, like, canonically, she lived. I don't know how, but it's like they were making fun. They were making fun of it, saying, "Oh yeah, she probably climbed up a tree or something like that." But yeah, canonically, she survived the apocalypse because we never saw her die. So they're like, "Yeah, she survived. It's fine."
She didn't die on screen.
Yeah.
And she's also in the Black Books as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fair bit of Black Books. Oh, she's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's like, I love how it's like, I've been saying I love so much this stream, but it's like, it's true though.
Yeah. Apparently, the shoot was interrupted by lots of torrential rain. I guess in the shot where there's torrential rain, they were just like, do you know what? Keep it in.
Fuck it, let's just go on.
Yeah.
It's cool though, because like... Oh, go on.
Or they've probably seen the amount of rain going on and just gone, do you know what? We could make a scene with the rain.
And it would be thematically appropriate as well because of what is happening. It's cool though, because like... Nicholas Angel just goes, "This is a crime," and the commissioner just goes, "Wait, are you saying that this is a crime scene?" And it's just, yes. Like, boys, you know what to do. And then he assigns jobs to everyone. And then when it comes to Nick and Danny, he's like, you know what to do. And they're just outside keeping watch. They're like, and then that's where they have the conversation about, oh, you don't switch off, or you never listen to anything you say. And it's like, coming at the midpoint, like, with all the interactions that they've had, the good and the bad things going on, is like, oh, hey, conflict, which is great, because now we're getting deeper into what the characters think about each other.
Yep. Apparently, Simon Pegg and Nick Frost got into an argument because Nick Frost was ordering people to get him coffee, and Simon Pegg was like, "Get your own damn coffee," and I'm just like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like, that was the legit reason they fell out for a couple of days and literally only spoke to each other, like, during scenes, and I'm like, go Simon Pegg, really, for being like, no, get your own coffee, you lazy git.
Yeah. Unless offered, make your own.
Yeah.
Well, it's... it is cool, though, because, like, even though they had the falling out, they were still so professional that you couldn't see any of it on screen.
Oh,
I mean,
definitely.
and it's also after that argument when he's reading through the newspaper where he starts to connect the dots. It's like, oh, the actor was related to that person, and that person was going to do this, and then the conspiracy starts, and we finally get a sense of what the overall mystery of the film is meant to be. And it's like, oh, this is gonna turn into a really cool mystery film with Nick and Danny just trying to figure out what's going on and bringing Skinner to justice, which just gets brilliantly subverted later on.
Yeah. Also, Enola Holmes could learn a lot from this because I feel like that film just doesn't do a very good job of setting up its mystery.
Yeah, well, I did reference Shaun of the Dead in one of my scripts for Enola Holmes with Plant and Payoff, so you'll see that one day.
Yeah. Also, the scene where they're going through, like, literally just describing the characters, they're all the reasons they die.
Yeah.
You know, like, when they say bad actor.
Oh, that scene is incredible.
Terrible howl.
But it's like, even before...
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Before we get to that, though, like, we'll get to that scene in due time, believe you me.
No, I know, but I'm just saying it's really fun.
Yeah,
like,
it's so good.
And it's like, that's literally why they killed them.
And like, Nick's face when he hears all that is like, what is going on?
Like, wait, you seriously killed them because they had an annoying laugh? Oh, yeah.
Yes. But it's like, at this point, after Nick was telling Danny all about what was happening and going on with, and telling him about the conspiracy and all of that, it turns out that it's Danny's birthday and Nick had no idea, so he goes to the flower shop to get Japanese peace lilies because of course he is. And during this time, I love how, in a matter-of-fact way, the owner of the flower shop is telling the diabolical plan, and Simon Pegg is just like mind blown. So yeah, it gets to the point where she's about to say, "Oh, but she's an absolute," and before she starts swearing, he cuts her off and goes to get the notepad or let the commissioner know. He's like, "Hey, there's a crime about to happen," before she gets absolutely skewered.
And the notepad is the reason why he doesn't catch them.
True.
So it's kind of showing how sometimes, even though he's very switched on and very by the book, even that's not enough. And that he does need to switch off a little bit in order to solve this as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like in Shaun of the Dead, where it's like, oh, there is a happy balance. It can't be of the two extremes, and like, it's something that all three of the films do really well. It's like, oh, like, you can't stay in the past, you gotta move on without losing yourself and stuff like that. Like, it's a really good trilogy about, in a weird way, growing up and learning not to lose yourself. It's mental. The zombie film, alien abduction film, and cult film.
Murder cult.
Yeah, oh, it's so good.
Zombies, murder cults, aliens. And all of those things sound like they would make a really dumb, B movie, but they actually, all three of them, make really good movies just on their own.
Yeah, it's like, absolutely. Oh, sorry, David?
No, I just but I mean, they're all like...
Sorry.
I like that I mean, a lot of what make this film, I think, make them like the way they are like great is the setting that they're all set like in a small town in UK.
Yeah.
And that makes a lot as well. Because you don't get like like zombie film in a. I mean, what was shown of there was like was that like small town or was it like
it was
outskirts of London?
It was in the outskirts of a bigger town, of a bigger city.
Yeah, it was like the.
It's like when you go outside. It's like where I live, David, if you remember.
Yeah.
For lack of a better way of describing it, people watching on the
Like,
stream might be like, well, where does he live? It's like, you'll never know.
well, we're not going to tell you, but yeah, it's like a little area just like away from the main part of Liverpool.
Yeah, it's
isn't
just outside the city.
Yeah, what was the name of the street again?
it?
In Sean.
No, where you live.
Where I live.
Maybe don't dox yourself.
Oh,
on here.
no, I'm not gonna tell people on stream where I'm gonna live. Like, Liverpool is as best as you get.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just know you live somewhere in Liverpool.
Yeah, but
Or
if you
do
have to
I?
specify which part of Liverpool.
Yes, I can. It's in a place called England.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's in an even bigger place called the United Kingdom, which is technically no
Even
longer
bigger
part of
place
Europe for some reason.
called
No.
Politically, at least.
The United Kingdom is in a bigger place called the Commonwealth.
Mhm.
True, and the Commonwealth is in Earth.
Geography.
And the Earth is in the Milky Way.
After the universe.
I am somewhere in the universe. You'll find me eventually. So, yeah. After we get the immaculate chase sequence with the hooded man / people, Nick manages to get the police force together and go to Simon Skinner's office and try to arrest him. But as it so happens, he's got a rock solid alibi and
Magically no scar.
yeah, true. And it's kind of cool because this is the first time we kind of see Nick kind of doubt his abilities. And it's
Yeah.
like, wait, am I actually losing it? Or
Yeah.
is this like what's going on kind of thing going on? And it's
Yeah. Like he's like, am I making connections where there aren't any because of how like unable to switch off I am?
yeah, and considering like he was from London where those connections are in abundance, it's like, oh, it's like sometimes it's just a coincidence kind of thing going on. It's like really questioning himself as a result of everything that's happening in town, in this small town. So very cool, very cool. Yeah, I just love the shit-eating grin that Timothy Dalton has the entire time he's describing
Yeah.
all of this. And then seeing all the various ways that they killed the victims with just Timothy
Yeah.
Dalton's face plastered on the hooded man is just so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we get to see multiple angles of Tim Messenger being rinsed by
Mush.
the roof.
Yeah.
But all in all, this is a pretty good mystery on its own that
Yeah.
Nick has put together with all the evidence at his disposal and the people that are involved. It's like it all fits into a nice, tight, neat little bow. But as we find out, no, we really were overthinking it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's incredible.
So good. I like mystery movies. And
Yeah.
I like cop movies, and so this is just kind of right up my street.
Like the
David?
first time I saw that, I did not expect the way it is. Like it was super unexpected.
Yeah. Like it's one of those instances where, oh, our expectations were subverted, but in every best possible way you can imagine. It's great.
Yeah.
I just there was this little bit where Nick looks over at the window and you can see all the employees just staring at them with a gormless
Yeah.
expression and just like, oh, okay. And then Lurch in the background just looking really confused.
Yeah. Yar.
And it's like, it's cool because like even though like there's such a rock solid narrative that Nick has set aside, Simon Skinner does bring up a really good point of like, look, this small town, everyone's got multiple jobs that they do in order to make the town work. So, look, it's not all that uncommon. So it's really interesting how they're utilizing the small town aesthetic to its advantage to tell this really intricate quote unquote mystery that he has to solve and everything like that. So, like, the way the setting, the characters, the writing is used is fantastic. And also, I love how his face just matches the picture in the background when he's smiling after handing him the videotape.
Yeah. I love the bit where it's like, no, look, catching them killers then. And it's like, it's just the one killer, actually. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Ding!
It's
also the bit where he gets brain freeze.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really interesting also how it was the shopkeeper who implies, oh, killers. And it's like, oh, she was part of the cult as well. And it's like, oh my god, that is so interesting. And then her saying killers by mistake is what sets him off again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, really, really interesting. And by this point, Nick has been mellowing out a lot more to the point where he's like insulting Simon Skinner right to his face.
Like...
Oh.
Basically mimicking the same thing that that Danny did, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like in the Shaun of the Dead where it was like he was helping Ed out with where to shoot, and then it's reversed later on where it's Ed telling him where to shoot. Very good.
Definitely. It's interesting how, like, knowing that he's quote unquote failed for the first time in his career, well, assumedly at the one thing that he expected to be good at, he's really bummed out, and Danny's just really trying to, you know, just not really comfort him, but encouraging him to keep at it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Watching these guys eat cornettos is really making me want a cornetto, to be honest.
I know, I really want a mint one. They're my favorite.
Mint, wow.
Well, I know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I'm going to be getting a cornetto.
Yeah, same. I'm gonna buy a big box of them.
Oh, really craving one now.
which Mikey will probably eat most of because he'll be like, "What's that? Ice cream? Ooh, can I have some?"
Oh my god.
And because I'm not a monster, I'll be like, "Yeah, why not?" And then he'll eat too much.
It's always the way it goes.
Yeah.
Ice cream. Oh, anyway, yeah. So after they talk to the woman in the corner shop getting the cornettos, they go to the commissioner's room and it's like, it's multiple killers. And the commissioner's like, okay, look, sleep on it. You know, and then if you still feel the same way tomorrow, we'll do something about it. I'm sorry, Amy?
I was like, in reality, he's just like, fuck, you figured it out. Okay, you have to die now.
Absolutely. Because... Yeah, go on, David.
No, I'm just agreeing. Sorry, I just do like.
Okay, cool.
I vocally agree.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Ooh.
Yeah, absolutely. Because after the first, it's like the previous police constable that came over here as well. It's like the one with the big bushy beard.
Yeah.
Like he was like Nicholas Angel, where he just couldn't stop and continued to find the answer to the mystery, and they took care of him. So now, knowing that he's not gonna stop, they gotta take care of him as well. So yeah, it's all wonderfully set up, and we get the nice big fight scene with Lurch where he gets defeated by the monkey.
Yeah.
Just incredible.
Apparently the stuntman got injured, so Simon Pegg actually had to do this scene, so he had to actually fight Lurch.
Nice.
Oh, that's
Oh, Simon Pegg.
Yeah. doing a Tom Cruise. Have at it.
I think the stuntman broke his collarbone.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
not fun. Not a fun time. I've never broken my collarbone, but I don't imagine it's nice.
no, no. My dad always tells me never break your spine or collarbone. I'm like, oh, all right then, I won't. So I'm just like,
Solid
yeah,
advice.
yeah,
That's good advice. I'll
Just-
go buy it.
yeah. So I plan on following that advice. But it's really cool how it was the relaxation plant that he uses in anger to
Yeah.
beat Lurch, and it's like, oh, so it's kind of like visually telling us he's stopped mellowing out and he's really gonna go
Yeah.
after them now.
Yeah, he's like, I am gonna kick ass.
Also, something that's cool. Just before he's leaving, Danny's there and he's like, "Oh wait, before you go, Nick," and he gives him
Sticky
the
notebook.
notepad. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, callback. It's great."
Yeah. He learned.
Yeah. And we come to arguably one of the best scenes in the entire film. The
Yeah.
revelation.
The thing they're chanting, it means for the good of the community. So it literally means for
Yeah,
the
it's
greater
like
good.
the greater good in Latin, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, he's like, it's
The
so
attention to detail.
it's so cartoonishly ominous, and it's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It's the greater good.
The greater good. And like
Anytime
every
someone
time
says the greater good, someone else says it as well,
the
yeah.
great, like everyone in unison, the greater good.
Yeah.
It's like,
Greater.
Oh, shut up!
yeah, oh, it's fantastic. And it's like the way they conduct this meeting is exactly how they conduct the NWA, which is like, so Janine has decided to name the children Tom and whatever the name.
Roger
like-
and Martin, and I
Yeah.
think it might be a reference to the Lethal Weapon characters.
Yeah, yeah, true. And then it's like,
But yeah.
and then after you, it's like, thank you. Now we gotta talk about, and it's just like the most mundane thing as what they were talking about is just insane. But it's like, I love again how they treat something so mundane with so much seriousness that it becomes
Yeah.
funny in retrospect.
Yeah. Like when they're like, okay, well now we've got rid of the police officer, to the hoodie problem.
Yeah. And it's just like Nicholas Angel waltzing in saying, "You're all under arrest." And it's like 12 of them
No.
against him and he's unarmed. It's just...
Yeah.
Oh, scene is fantastic. It's like we get to see everything that we've been told so far by the visuals, the characters, and like the dialogue and everything. And it's like, oh, so this is that intricate plan. Oh, it's all coming together. And it's like, so why'd you do it? It's like, oh, he was a terrible
He was
actor.
a bad actor.
And like, we've got two bright young stars. And it's like she was a cadaver in Broadchurch. It's like,
Yeah.
fatality or something like that. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
I love the fact that he's like, you murdered him for that, and they're like, well, he murdered Bill Shakespeare, and he's like, what?
What?
Oh.
And it's really also really cool, like in the next day when he comes back with all the weapons, when you go to the corner shop and the advert is there for Romeo and Juliet, it's with the replacement actors already. So so good.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, why'd you blow him up? He had a terrible house. It didn't match the rustic aesthetic of the town. It's like, what? And like, why'd you kill Tim Messenger? Those spelling mistakes were atrocious. Like, and then just his face, like, progressively becoming more astonished by what he's hearing is amazing.
Yeah. It's just like, what the? My theory was so far-fetched, and this is literally they murdered people for having annoying traits. What the hell?
It's amazing how it's like, what about the florist? She was one of your own. If we can't have her, no one can. Like, oh my god. That was it.
Literally, the whole thing is about winning the best village award, and I love that.
It's such a mundane thing, but the
It's
extremes
so
they go
dumb.
to is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the police constable comes along and it's like, oh my god, it's like, oh, he was the head of it all along. Oh my god.
Yeah. He
It's
gives
like,
them a bit of an evil look at the very start of the movie, which is like blink and you'll miss it, but he does actually glare at Nicholas first time he meets him.
yeah, true, true.
You know, kind of as if to say, ugh, another police officer that I have to deal with that I may have to kill.
It's like, when you listen to his backstory, his villain backstory, it's like, oh, my wife just wanted to win the best village award, and then just the ludicrousness of everything that happens, and there's like a bunch of gypsies came along and they ruined everything. She went insane and ended up dying in a car crash. It's like, what is this insanity?
Yeah. And then we see all like the dead people and even the dog.
Even the
Like,
dog, yeah.
They killed the dog.
It's like they literally got rid of the problem, and they've been hell bent on keeping this town clean ever since. It's mad, but it still makes sense. That's the best bit.
I forgot the guy who had all the weapons got killed as well. I was like, oh, I liked him.
I know that. It's like when I saw his body, I'm like, oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
It's like that look.
And he was just trimming hedges. He didn't do anything.
They weren't. I don't think they were his hedges though.
Yeah, he was trimming other people's hedges. Also, the bit where Danny stabs him specifically where the notebook was, I was like, oh, hell yeah.
True. And like, it's very cool how like we get to see a moment of character growth from Nicholas' side, because when Danny comes along and grabs him just before the chase starts, like, oh my god, Danny, not you too, kind of thing. It's almost like he's lamenting that he may have to go up against, like in that moment you truly get to see, oh, Danny is a friend to this person now. And like what Kate Blanchett said at the start, pretended to be his girlfriend, is like, oh yeah, it's like, you need to find someone that you're going to care about more than the job. And in that moment we found that someone, and it's very cool.
Yeah. And I'm very glad that it wasn't a love interest, because
Yeah,
it doesn't always have to be a love interest. It can be like a best friend.
like in Blade.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Blade is in Sky, and I downloaded it, so I'm just looking forward to watching Blade again. I haven't seen it in so long.
I just love Wesley Snipes. He's just
So
such
good.
a fun actor. I also especially love him in Demolition Man because he just goes proper ham
Demolition Man.
and all out crazy.
I don't care what anyone says, Demolition Man is his best film.
It is.
And his best performance. He's just fantastic in that film.
He's easily the best thing about that film.
Oh, and that film has just grown in relevance over time. That is a phenomenal film.
So bizarre how like relevant it is now.
Yeah. Would you like to grab dinner with me tonight at Taco Bell?
I know.
We're not quite there yet, but give it a couple of years.
Oh.
Something I noticed watching Hot Fuzz this time around is like when Danny's father was giving the whole speech about his wife and how she was obsessed with work and how it drove her crazy and stuff like that. It's almost like a parallel to what Nicholas was like before he came to the town, where it's like he was obsessed with his work and that's the only thing he could think of and he couldn't switch off and anything like that. And the wife was kind of like an example of what would happen if he doesn't chill out, where she lost her mind and ended up dying in an accident. So I thought that was a really cool parallel between like Nicholas and Danny's mother. Yeah, like I didn't notice it last time around, but now that I'm 13 years older, I noticed. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but yeah, I thought that was a cool reading of it because of parallelisms.
Yeah, that's cool. That's interesting. I never looked at it this way. Never saw it there.
Wunderbar. Yeah, Danny takes Nicholas all the way out to the outskirts of town and tells him to leave because there's no way the town is going to change. And going to a shop, he sees Point Break in the shopping rack. And the action film starts full on, like cliched, left and right. Oh my god. I'm not sure we're supposed to be hearing this conversation, so I'm gonna talk over it just in case. Imagine if she just comes around and we're just making weird noises left and right, like oh.
What did I miss then? Sorry, I had to go and
It's alright, we heard.
Oh god, I'm sorry, I thought I was muted.
It's fine. We were making noises to cover it up just in case it was important.
I'm sorry.
I do love the cashier in the shop that he goes to.
Yeah.
just
get a load of his bum.
He's just not having any of it, and he just doesn't want to be there. And it's like, do you want anything else? Sees the action film, and it's like, right, action film starts now. And this is when the film goes really insane. Something I do like is how they don't kill any of the villains. They're all arrested.
People just they're all arrested or injured.
Yeah.
Because a lot of...
It's weird that, like, at the moment it becomes action film, it stops being gory.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Like as gory. There's like still like a little bit of
violence, but there's blood, but it's not like Tim Messenger levels.
On things, but yeah, people like do actually have accidents. I never actually realised that before, but they start having actual accidents.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, this is where we really start to embrace the tropes, you know, the fast editing and like how everything is shot in a way that makes even the most mundane thing look absolutely epic.
Yeah, just like people are staring at him from the street.
Like a cowboy film where he's just walking into town, like the angels sent from like the firing range. It's like very cool how the two shotguns in his back are like over him, like wings of an angel here to liberate the town. It's like, oh, so cool. Also where we get the reveal of the two Bill Baileys.
Yeah, the two Bill Baileys is great. Especially when it's like, I didn't know we had a horse division. And it's just like, huh.
Nobody tells me nothing.
Tells me nothing.
And then he's,
And it's just the nonchalant way he walks into town as well, getting the kids to spray paint the cameras.
Yeah. I also just love how he's like, morning.
Yeah. Really cool how they set up the cameras early on and they took care of it so that he's not spoiled entering the town again.
Yeah.
The carnage begins.
Also, like Mr. Treacher did have stuff under his coat.
He did a big fuck off shotgun.
Yeah.
Oh, I love how like
it starts like a western.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like a classic Clint Eastwood film where he's just walking into town and like everyone's like, what?
Yeah.
It's like something I guess couldn't be avoided is like every other film that Edgar Wright has done, the action is so steady and you can see everything that's happening. Whereas in this, it's so fast and hyperactive in its editing. But I'm like, yeah, but you are also fighting geriatrics, so you are gonna have to get around it somehow. And also, I feel like it's an homage to action films because of the editing.
Yeah. I mean, you do get some fast editing in Baby Driver when he's like driving away and stuff.
Yeah, that's how best to describe it.
Yeah. But I think there's one as well where he has to get out of the car and run.
With that one, isn't it more to do with the beat of the song that's playing more
It
than
is
the actual fight itself?
The editing's still quite fast paced and like
Yeah, it's not like
the
7.
editing matches the beat, but it's also like sometimes the beat's very erratic, so it matches the tone of the kind of thing.
Yeah, with this, maybe it's because of the people that were available to him. Like,
Yeah,
you can't get around it sometimes.
sure.
In order to make it work, you are gonna have to make it seem like it's
Not on
edited by a
yeah.
blender.
Yeah.
But still, it's better than most other. Oh, it's better than like stuff like Colombiana, where 7 different shots for one punch. It's like, oh my god. David, is everything okay?
Yeah, why?
Oh, it's like I'm hearing everything you're doing. So just
yeah, because I unplugged my I accidentally unplugged my microphone, so it switched to my
Oopsie.
laptop
okay.
microphone. Sorry about that.
No,
I
it's
was just
fine. It's
tapping.
fine.
I was just tapping the laptop.
I was enjoying the ASMR, so
Oh, okay.
it's fine. No worries.
Bizarrely soothing.
Yeah. And now that the action film starts, Danny's started swearing left and right, and he's like, "Fuck yeah, motherfucker!" Just pretend like doing his best at an American accent, just trying to
Yeah.
copy the films that he's seen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Apparently Simon Pegg named his shotgun Abby.
oh my god. Abby's got such a negative connotation in my brain now because of The Last of Us.
No.
But
Oh.
like, oh, it's that game ruined that name. Anyway, something I wanted to bring up earlier, but I completely spaced on it, is when they were in Danny's place and they're watching the 2 films. It's like in that moment when they're watching Bad Boys 2 and Nick wakes up and Martin Lawrence is just like, shit just got real. Literally at that point in this film, shit got real because that's when the explosions happened. I'm like, oh, it's just the placement of everything is fantastic. If just in case anyone's not gotten the message yet.
This film is very good and you
Yeah,
should
it's
watch
good.
it.
Very good film.
If you like films, then you should watch it.
Oh, definitely. Oh my god! And the priest comes out. It's like, surely, it's like, you may not believe in God, but you believe in peace, and just trying to be the priest man.
The
But it's
priest's
like,
last name is literally Shooter. I'm pretty sure.
it's like,
Let me double check.
when negotiations don't work, he just goes, ah, fuck it. Like, swearing left and right. It's like, Jesus Christ, using the Lord's name in vain and everything.
Yeah.
And it's like the complete opposite of what a priest should be.
It is legit, his last name is Shooter. The priest's last name is Shooter.
Oh my god.
I love that.
I mean, to be fair, he did shoot, so. And then the last person they're trying to take out in, well, the public square is the doctor, interestingly enough. And yeah, it's kind of cool because like the way he gets defeated is because of a gun misfire from it landing on the ground, and it's like, oh, okay. And he just ends up collapsing.
Bear track to the face. Ouch. I'm sorry, I'm a bit further on.
Oh, much further on, actually. Like a good.
I went false.
Yeah, we just shot the
Continue.
doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, now we're getting into the bar, and we get the shootout in the pub itself. Aha. And do you know what? I'm so glad that when they have pump action shotguns, they're actually using them like pump action shotguns. instead of Enola Holmes, where they use the pump action sound but use dual barrel shotguns, and that really
Yeah.
fucking pisses me off when films do that.
I noticed you gave me the script for that bit, didn't you? And I was just like, he's really not happy. But I was like, I mean, you should pay attention to details. Because it's very nice to notice the details and stuff like that.
I mean, let's be honest, like, a normie's not gonna know.
No,
But it's like, it's something that really annoys me in films when they don't use guns properly. But,
fair.
yeah. It's like, oh shit, I was gonna say something, but completely got derailed because of Enola Holmes, as usual.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I'm always like hesitant to mention it because I'm like, am I gonna cause a tangent?
Oh, it always does.
Possibly.
It's Enola Holmes.
But it's become part of the podcast lore at this point.
It is lore, yeah. Like, almost done with those, but in writing at least. But yeah, this is the moment where, like, also the rest of the police station comes along and it's like, oh hey, like, Nicholas Angel, we're here to arrest you. And there's a massive argument between him and the rest of the police station, while the police commissioner is in the background just saying, don't listen to him, still trying to maintain the brainwashing. And then Nicholas is like, guys, think about it. Massive accidents, but no murders or other crimes. Like, that's kind of wrong, isn't it? And then, like, everyone just kind of realizes, oh yeah, that is actually kind of mental. And they all start to see Nicholas's side, and for the first time in the film, we get to see the camaraderie between the group build up, where previously they've been kind of apart. So first he builds up the relationship with Danny, and then he builds up the relationship with the rest of the officers. And really cool, the moment the dog stops barking is when the rest of the group accepts him as well. So
yeah.
When all else fails, trust the doggo.
Doggos no.
When all goes, trust the doggo.
Yes. Oh, it's mad seeing the two Andys take Nicholas's side.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's really cool because, like, even though they are kind of like over the top, like, asshole type characters, they're incredibly earnest. So if they trust you, they will put their lives on the line for you, and that's really endearing. That's really endearing.
I love how the old guy's just like, I reckon he's got something, though.
And then they go to the mall. This is what happens in the mall.
To the shop.
What happens in the mall is insane, or at least the way it's presented is absolutely insane. Like, I mean, we already talked about this earlier, but the fact that after all the times the middle-aged dude has been listening to Nicholas, he's the one who comes up with a plan, and it's like, oh yes, fantastic, character development, an arc, wonderful.
Yep.
And then Nicholas going in first takes on Lurch by himself while the rest of the team takes on the Butchers. And it's like, I love how fucking hell, I gotta stop saying I love. It's like, I'm aware of it and I still can't help saying it. It's just that good of a film. The way it's edited is like a hardcore shootout, like in like Bad Boys 2 or like The Rock or something like that. But if you really take a step back and look at what's happening, it's policemen in riot gear taking on two butchers that are throwing cutlery at them.
Yep.
And it's like, what the fuck's going on here? Why is this film so much of an epic way?
It's just, I don't know, that's like, it's like just the intention.
No, like, I get it. Like, no,
it's great.
Yeah, like, it's because they're filming it in such a over-the-top serious manner at such a ludicrous situation. Like, I admit, that is why it's funny. that like it was a rhetorical question I was asking, not an actual, a full-on question.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Just the fight with Lurch, where Nicholas is like, "Is this what you really want?" And he takes a second to think about it, and he just goes, "Yarp," and then just continues fighting.
Harry's beating him up.
Oh. And then him just falling into the freezer. And
and then say, chill out. And that just brings me back to the amount of, like, freeze puns you get in Batman.
Batman and Robin. Oh, fuck yes. Ice to see you.
Everybody chill.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
Oh, so terrible, but so good.
Batman and Robin is just a masterpiece.
We should do all the Batman movies one day.
Oh my god, yeah. I'm surprised we haven't done them yet.
I know. Except maybe we could exclude Batman v Superman just because
we already did.
Talked about it.
In ad nauseum.
Yep.
But yeah, it's definitely something we could do. Future plans being discussed. Oh my.
Oh
yeah. So yeah, they use all the trolleys to get through the butchers, and we are giving chase to Skinner and the commissioner. Oh my.
The Dolmio bit with Andy, where he's like, Andy! It's like, it's okay, it's just bolognese!
It's just bolognese! It's just... Oh, it's so good.
It's just so funny.
And then the riot police having to take care of a bunch of students throwing vegetables at them.
We're just back!
And then Olivia Colman smacking the assistant with the floor's wet sign.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, gotta love some girl-on-girl action. And then the two Andys just looking at her in all coy. It's like, oh my god. Olivia Colman is a national treasure. I don't care what anyone says.
I've never seen her in anything that I didn't like.
Oh, she's so good. Like, even if something might be mediocre, I know she's gonna be good in it.
Yeah, like after seeing her in this and Broadchurch, I was like, yeah, you have my attention, you're a good actress. I will watch anything you're in. Except I haven't watched The Crown just because that's just not really something that interests me.
Fair. But The Father, she is phenomenal.
I shall definitely give it a watch at some point.
Please do. It is very, very good.
I did.
Yeah. The chase and the swan gets a payoff as well. Because they go past the swan and it's like, oh my god, the swan, we gotta pick it up. So they stop the car, pick up the swan, and then continue.
And the swan's just chilling in the car like, honk!
Yeah, and it's also the swan that caused the initial crash at the model city, or the model town. Just like, I
think there's actually a setup that I forgot to mention. You know, like earlier on, I think one of the Andys says to Nicholas, if you want to play the big cop, go F off down the model village.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Like, if you want to be a big cop in a small city, go fuck off to the model city. Like, oh my god. Yeah, that is so true. And then guess where the final battle happens? The model city.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
Oh my. You know, talking about this film, it just makes me appreciate it even more. Like, it's so good.
Yeah. There are all these like new things that I'm noticing about it, and I've watched it over 20 times at this point. And I'm still finding new stuff to appreciate. It's just so good.
This is why when you said it took them 18 months to write this script, I'm like, that's...
Yeah.
Like, oh... Like,
I'm jealous because, like, there's no way in heck I could write a good script in 18 months. I think it would take, like, if it was a feature film anyway, it'd probably take a few years for me, maybe.
Yeah, it'll take me, like, 3 years to get something this good. Holy shit, it's fantastic. Oh. So, the fight between Nicholas and Joel And oh my god, Nicholas Angel, and that's cool.
He's an angel.
Yeah, because he's walking to the streets with a horse with the shotguns like angel wings, and he's Nicholas Angel. I just clocked onto that. Oh.
Apparently, like, they did a survey on, like, typical cop names. Nick was one and Andy was one, so obviously they were like, right, we're gonna have our main character called Nick, and we're gonna have two Andys.
Oh, nice.
And Nick Frost wanted to name his character, so he came up with the name Danny. I forgot his last name.
Oh fuck.
Butterman or something.
Danny Bottoman, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh my god. And then fucking Skinner charging at him with a board cutter trips on the car and gets stabbed through the fucking mouth with the model church, which just so happens to be the exact pillar he used to kill Tim with. It's like, but like any other film, you'd assume he was dead. But in this one, he's like, owie.
Like, also, he's like, I need ice cream. Do you want a cornetto?
Oh. It is. I'm just at a loss for words at this point at just how good this film is. Genuinely. Just Nicholas's sheer frustration at the commission is like, oh my god, just give it up, you've lost.
Yeah.
And then doing the homage to Point Break, of course. Oh.
It's like, it's alright, the swan's in there, and apparently they can break people's arms.
Swans are nasty motherfuckers.
Swans are. A swan attacked my granddad.
Wow.
Wow.
He's not a fan of swans anymore.
Like, our dogs, when they go to Sefton Park, they always chase the swans, so we're protected.
It's because they know they're like, you ain't hurting my human, I'ma get you.
Do you know what? Now that I just clocked onto this while we were talking about Point Break for some reason, because that's the connection I needed to make.
He's got a broken arm. The swan actually broke his arm.
He's like, I'm gonna wait till it comes up, but you telling me something at the start about oh, it was originally supposed to be a love interest as well. That answers a lot of questions about some of the questions I've had with the ending, so I'll bring it up when it comes about. But yeah, all middle-aged dude still talking about his favorite Sunday.
Yeah, he deserves it. He came up with a good plan. Let him
true.
have it.
And then
considerable amount of paperwork.
Absolutely. It's also cool how the original Metropolitan Police Department heads came along in the chopper and said, Nick, we've been trying to get in contact with you, but we haven't been able to, so we're here. We need you back because apparently sending our best copper away was really bad for business and crime's on the rise. Please help.
And he's just like, you're on your own, guys.
Yeah, I kind of like it here, so I don't blame him. Like that does sound like
a... at the start as well. He said, I kind of like it here.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, I love this movie. I'm sorry. Don't know why I'm saying sorry.
Oh, it's so cool how they're doing actual paperwork at the end instead of, like grabbing a beer with the job well done. Yeah. It's like, no, there's still work to be done. Let's do the paperwork now.
Yeah.
Oh. And it's cool how, this time around, they tossed the bin at Nicholas, and it's like, oh, Nick, he's finally a part of the group now. He has
gets
friends.
Bins thrown at him.
Yeah, he's one of the guys now, and it's, that's cool.
Yeah.
There's also the moment where
he kicks the bin.
But yeah, it's like the NWA dude comes out and shoots Danny, and we get the payoff for the landmine. The sea mine.
Sea mine.
Now, this is something that happens in so many action films, but I find it ludicrous how the entire building gets blown up, but everyone else just has like a bit of scratches and some
Yeah.
like dirty clothes and are on top of the rubble. And it's like it's so funny,
Yeah,
but
right.
it's so common in so many films.
I
There's
do
like,
love how you see the dogs alive. I'm like, good, the dog didn't die. That's all I care about.
oh god, yeah, absolutely. Now this is what I was going to talk about earlier. Amy, you telling us that, oh, there was originally supposed to be a girlfriend. I'm convinced now that I know that Danny was supposed to die here, and it was supposed to be his gravestone at the end with the girlfriend visiting with
Yeah.
him.
I think
That,
so too.
yeah, because that would explain why there was the bait and switch with the gravestone and the name.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It still works. It still works, though. It was really good that they worked it around, and I do think the choice not to have a love interest was very, very
yeah,
wise because I just think it just works.
like, see, I'm not of two minds. I do like the way they did it because it helps maintain the tone of the film without it being too grim right at the end. But it's like there's an alternate universe where it's this film, but instead of Danny living, Danny dies, and there's
Yeah,
like an added layer of, oh hey, because you took your job so seriously and all of that, and it's like
your friend
there's kind of
died.
like, yeah, there's a real fucking metaphorical value to his death at the end of this film
Yeah,
in an alternate universe where it exists. But the way they did
maybe.
it here, it tonally very appropriate.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe they didn't want to kill his character off because he's already died in Shaun of the Dead
I
or
mean,
something.
by that logic, he's alive in this film, so.
No, I know. Like, I'm wondering if maybe they chose not to, because they still could have chose to kill him.
No, I think it's because, like you said, they did choose to appropriate the girlfriend's lines with his, so maybe it's just a matter of, oh, instead of having his one friend die, one consistent friend all the way throughout die, keep him alive, and then have it be the mother's gravestone, because then we're
Yeah,
harking back to, oh, hey, there's kind of like a connection there, because like he was the workaholic and he was the fun person, and then have the balance, like personal relationships and all that. So it still works, but it's like, I think there could have been a real metaphorical kind of growth from Nicholas's side if he had died. So either way can work. I do prefer the way they did it because of the overall tone of the film. Because if you had fun, 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 oh my god, that's a grim ending. Like it would be
yeah,
tonally dissonant. So for that reason, I understand why it is. But I would
yeah,
like to see what that alternate version would have been like.
yeah.
Right?
I'm, I'm surprised. Like, Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead are on Netflix, but At World's End isn't.
Wasn't it though?
I don't know
It
if it
was
ever was, but it's not anymore. Not on.
it was on Netflix. I think it might be on Netflix still.
It's not on
But
the UK Netflix anymore.
I don't have Shaun of the Dead on Netflix. I have Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz
Hmm.
and Shaun of the Dead are on the UK one, but
Yeah. It might be on the US one, maybe, hopefully.
yeah.
Or maybe it's on Sky or something. I don't know. Because when I watched
It'll
it
probably
was
be
on
on
Netflix.
yeah,
No,
it'll
I
probably
only
be
have
on
Hot
Amazon
Fuzz.
Prime. I've got Hot Fuzz
Weird.
on DVD, so
Let's see.
I'm gonna see if it's on Prime. If
The
not,
World's End.
I'll sail the seas to find
Just watch. Where is it available? Let us find it. It's on Sky Go and Now TV in the UK.
I have no TV.
Do you have Sky?
No, I don't have a cable anymore. Nobody watched it, so we literally just cancelled it because
Oh.
we're spending money on something nobody's using.
Fair enough. Fair enough. My dad has it, so I just use his account.
Yeah. Like my mum and dad have Sky, so I end up watching. If I ever watch cable TV, it's at their house.
Gotcha. Yeah, fair enough. That makes sense.
There's not really much reason for me to have cable TV because I don't watch anything on it. I watch movies and most of the time shows that are on streaming services. So
Fair. Fair.
Disney Plus.
Right. So that was Hot Fuzz, and concluding thoughts, everyone. Where are you at?
I still love this movie.
Okay, so
It's great. It's my favorite Edgar Wright movie and one of my favorite UK movies, and it's amazing. It's
Mhm.
have we told that it's a good movie? I think we have told it
yeah,
maybe
it's like
one
I
or
think
two
we might
times in
have mentioned it
podcast.
a couple of times.
Once or twice, just slightly.
I can't remember the last time we
It's the
had this much praise for a film. I think the last time was probably Bly Manor.
Also, we had lots of praise for Shaun of the Dead.
This is true, yeah. But it's like so consistently going,
It's just-
oh,
yeah.
love, so good, love, so good. It's just,
Yeah.
oh,
There wasn't anything in there that I had a complaint about. It just all works.
it's immaculate. Like, it's so good.
If I can ever make something half as good as this, then I will be happy and I'll be like, I've peaked.
I have one life. I can die now.
Yeah, I'll be like, I've done what I wanted to do, because that's literally, I don't even care if it makes money or what. I just want to make a movie that people enjoy and that it works.
Genuinely, I
Yeah,
think.
but then when they enjoy it, that's when it makes money.
Yeah, true.
But I don't care about the money part.
I do.
I mean, it would be
Uh,
nice, but like, if I never make any money from making films, that doesn't bother me too much.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Not gonna lie, having had this conversation, I think I love the film more than I did, and I already loved it quite a lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's an amazing film.
There's just so much to appreciate about it, and there's just so much detail gone in, and you can just see all the hard work that went into this movie.
God,
It's
yeah.
so good. And it's like one of the to start making films in the first place. Especially
Nice.
the editing. Like, this film made me go, "Ah,
Amy, you're breaking up.
oh, sorry. I'll move my microphone a bit further away, sorry. I was just saying, this movie made me basically go, yeah, I want to do editing.
Nice. Oh, cool.
I'm just gonna have to have an organizational pause. I'm gonna have to go now because it's 11 o'clock here and I'm going to work tomorrow.
Nah,
Yeah.
genuine. Yeah, I've
I
got
think we
work in
were
the
wrapping
morning
up
too,
anyway.
so like
I
this
have
was the
full
wrap
run.
up moment anyway, so it's perfectly alright, dude.
Yep.
But yeah, David, thank you for joining us again.
Thank you for having me again.
Anytime.
I know I'm not a man of many words,
But when you do speak, they
I
they
try
move
to
mountains.
I try to yeah.
Where can good people find you, David? Would you like to plug yourself?
It's the Shooting Bears one, the Instagram, the one that Ilaria plugs. I'm part of that as well. I don't.
Sure.
Otherwise, I'm not active on social media at all.
Oh, good choice.
Understandable.
Yeah,
You're not missing much.
at all.
I observe, but I'm not
Yeah.
active.
That's fair.
I'm on them, but I don't interact. I just, yeah.
Yeah. I mostly just use Messenger and mostly just post dumb memes on Facebook sometimes.
That's already more than I do.
That's it.
But yeah, thank you, Dave, for coming and joining us in this wonderful conversation. It was lovely having you.
Mm-hmm.
And next week is gonna be The World's End, and who knows who we'll have for that week.
Ooh.
So
Surprise.
Ooh.
I know, even I don't know.
But if you want me to say many words, then invite me on The Witcher if you do Witcher, because I have many words to say about Witcher.
Oh my god.
Cool.
One day. Or
One
maybe for
day.
season 2 we might do a Witcher one. But,
Yeah, maybe. I'm happy to talk about it.
yeah, it's like I've played The Witcher and I watched the show. I'm not incredibly invested in it. That's why we've not really done much on it. So
That's fair.
Well, I watched both. I watched both Witcher shows. So I don't want to flex, but there's also a
the original
Polish
Polish one,
TV show.
Oh.
Yeah.
I do
Oh.
know of it. Yes, and
I
I'm
have
not gonna
some of the
lie.
book.
Geralt in that original Polish show is uber Chad. I do like his look.
He's a famous Polish actor.
Yeah. Oh, it's so corny with the way it's presented, but
It's
it's so
it
endearing.
is it. Well, the thing is, it's not 90s. It's early 2000, but
Yeah.
because it looks like it was made in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly. It's like watching Dragonheart, but in like 2005.
Oh my god, Dragonheart. That's a movie I haven't thought about in so long.
I know, right? Ah.
But it's great. I'm also reading the books now. The books are good. The Witcher
I've
books are
got one
amazing.
of them. I think I've got the first one, The Last Wish is the one
Those
I've
are the
got.
collection of short stories, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the first one where like the like the story begins like the blood of the elf. So I don't know how it's in English.
Oh, yeah. I think I found that one in my library, so I think I'll start with that one first then.
It's
Nice.
great. The
I like
books,
it,
the
yeah.
Witcher books are what I wish Game of Thrones books would be.
Well,
Oh,
now
I
I'm
mean,
excited to read them.
fair enough.
I've not read any Game of Thrones, and I'm not really particularly interested in it. So
They're boring books.
I've read a bit of A Game of Thrones, and it was perfectly acceptable. Like
It
linguistically, it's very good, but I get what you mean. It is very dry a lot of the time.
yeah.
Um, with that out of the way, we shall bid everyone adios. So take care, everyone. See you next week.
oh, bye bye now.
See ya when I'm here again.